The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Rex Ryan will get a shot to interview to be the Jet coach once again on Tuesday. Plus, new details are emerging about Mike Vrabel's interview with the Jets. The latest news, the latest rumors. We talk about that and more when Greenbean joins the program. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man.
This is the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We had Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Happy Saturday, everybody. The Jake Asman Show starts right now. Tomorrow, we will have our final post-game stream. We do every preseason game, every regular season game, and I figured we'd have some playoff games this year, but, well, you know. So tomorrow, right after Jets-Dolphins, we'll be live on this YouTube channel for our final post-game stream of the 2024 season. Hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And joining us right now is one of my favorite people. You check him out on his own YouTube channel. You see him on the Talking Jets panel every week. The great Greenbean joins us right now. GB, Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year, Jake. Did you say playoffs? Playoffs? What's going on with that? Oh, my God.
It's unreal. And you and I were talking about this briefly before we started the show. For a team that has been so bad for so long, the amount of storylines that are out there that this team gets that other teams don't, that nationwide people care about, and especially in this fan base, it's unreal. Like Rex Ryan's getting a chance to interview now. Mike Vrabel already interviewed. You have all the drama with the owner and everything going on with the quarterback and the in-season firings. Like for a season that has been so bad, there has never not been something to talk about that this fan base still cares about.
Well, and that supports the idea that, and I've been talking about this for a little while now, but it's the proof just keeps stacking up that the Jets aren't really a football team. The Jets are a very exciting, painful sitcom. And if you look at it through that lens, they're doing an exceptional job at keeping their viewers engaged. There's always a cliffhanger. There's always a new character. It's like that's what they're really doing. That's why I believe, I mean, I'm almost like Rex Ryan's kind of a shoo-in. If they're just looking to keep the drama up and all that stuff, man, who would be better than Rex? Go ahead, get Rex in here. Tanny's going to sit down and he's going to do a press conference and say, we've made our decision on GM. It's me. I've chosen myself to be the GM. Rex is back. Like that's the thing. Like you said, it never stops. It's every other day. There's a breaking news with the New York Jets, and we haven't done anything since 2010. Yet we're the most interesting, perpetually in the mainstream news franchise in the NFL.
Like, you really can't make it up. If I were to told any Jet fan before the year started, hey, are the Jets more likely to be 4-12 or 12-4? If I told you that Aaron Rodgers would not miss a single snap all season due to injury, you would be nuts if you said 4-12, given the fact they won 7 games without the guy last year with an abomination at the quarterback spot. Like, you can't make it up how big of a disaster this season has been. And, like, thank God, the only positive I could say is that tomorrow's the last game.
Oh, my God. I know I put on the thumbnail for tomorrow's live stream, the nightmare ends, or the final nightmare is what it's like. Just like you said, I would have laughed to the point of choking if you told me the Jets were going to have a 4-win season this year. And like you said, Aaron Rodgers was going to play every game, start every single game, no injury, not being, he was benched last week, but he played most of that game. and he's going to be near 4,000 yards. He's going to have 20 plus touchdowns and 10 interceptions. There would have been no way that you could have made that make sense to me. That Garrett Wilson was going to have 1,000 yards. We were going to get Devontae Adams. There's just no way. It's harder to do what we've done and just win some friggin' games, Jake.
It's unreal. I mean, as far as this game goes tomorrow, I want to get into, of course, the Vrabel stuff, and we'll talk about Rex. But as far as this game tomorrow, I mean, where are you at with Team Tank versus win the game and stick it to the Dolphins? Do you have any strong feelings one way or another when you look at Jets Dolphins tomorrow?
Strong feelings. I don't think I have strong feelings like I do every other year. I'm kind of beaten down. I'm very pulpish. I'm minced meat. I do. It's like a yearly thing that we do. We have these discussions, right? Nobody roots for losses versus winning meaningless games is bad for the blah, 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 blah. Right? The Jets have sucked more consistently than any team in the league, yet we haven't had the number 1 overall pick since 1997. We can't suck right. We can't win, but we can't suck right. So every year there's a transition. I root until we're mathematically eliminated. Right? If we have a 0.01% chance, I'm rooting for a win. The dream lives on. And every year I shift and I'm passionately on Team Tank, and then I'm disappointed on that team. This year, I am rooting for a tank. I hate to root against the Jets, again, the Dolphins, that whole thing. But the idea of having an opportunity to get the 2nd overall pick versus being, kind of pushed back to number 10, that's valuable to me. You can trade back, set the franchise up for a couple years. The new organization gets 2 firsts next year, 2 seconds this year, that kind of thing. I have a hard time not wanting that. So I guess I am on Team Tank, but if the Jets are throwing bombs down the field to Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson and Brees is going off, I'm going to have a real hard time not celebrating that as well. I'm not as passionately on Team Tank as I am used to being, but I do sit on that side of the aisle.
It'll be interesting to see going into the game what the ramifications would be of a win versus a loss, because most of the results the Jets need to kind of figure that out will have already happened because the Jets are playing at 425. You got games today that potentially impact, the implications of some of these games tomorrow. So, if they could get as high as the number 2 pick, I'm rooting for a loss. I'll be fully transparent. Now, if there's really no difference between 7 versus 8 or something like that, then whatever. If they win, I'm fine with it. But I would like to see the young players on this team play well. If you're going to go out there and win, could we have a big-time Brees and Garrett game? Could we have a big-time Will McDonald game or, Quincy Williams, JB at Sherwood, et cetera? That's kind of how I look at it, because really winning against Snoop Hundley tomorrow in the grand scheme of things when everyone's getting fired on this coaching staff after the game means nothing to me.
Yeah, but Ulbricht's going to interview for the job, he believes, Jake. So, we might be looking at Brick 2.0 next year.
Do you think Ulbricht should just walk in there and be like, all right, thanks for the time, and then leave? Or do you think he's actually going to sit down and try and plead his case why he deserves to be the next head coach of the NYJ?
Well, I think he should plead his case. If they open the door and say, come on in, we want to talk to you about, he should say, hey, man, it took me 10 weeks, but I learned a lot. I now know what I need to do. I'm going to take a hard look. I've taken a series of hard looks, and I now know what. If I was him, I would definitely make the case. He's not going to get another opportunity this cycle. He'll have to go, be a linebacker coach, DC somewhere for a little while before he gets any consideration. There's not going to be another opportunity. So if they do say, hey, we'd like to have a chat with you about the head coach position, he should come in with books and worksheets and PowerPoints. He should have all kinds of stuff. But that being said, if they retained him, I don't know how I'm going to maintain my intense fandom. I just don't know, buddy.
I picture it like that meme from The Simpsons where the guy's walking in out of the bar, then immediately walking out. That to me is the Jeff Ulbrich interview. His interview has been from week 6 on, and this team only having 2 wins when he took over the team. Last I checked, they had 2 wins. So, it's just hilarious that he's going to get an interview now. We do know this. Rex Ryan, Sexy Rexy, will be interviewing on Tuesday with the Jets brass. In the interview will be Mike Tannenbaum and Rick Spielman with Woody Johnson, with Christopher Johnson, with Jaime Elhai, the team president, And Greenbean, I don't know if you heard this, but sources tell me when Rex walks in, he will be holding a boombox that will be playing this.
Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. You tried to throw him away, but this man's coming back. Sometimes he's fat or thin. That waistband makes him slim. He's got the fix you need. They call him sexy. Rexy.
Fuck Gruden, he's no jet. I'm here to crack some skulls. I'll turn these boys to men. This team is stacked with pros. Hire me, you won't break your purse. I'm here to break the curse. They call me sexy. Rexy. Fuck all you naysayers.
Ooh, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy.
The Gators' finest work. Dude. Fuck all you naysayers. Dude, that was fantastic. And not for nothing, stirred something that I didn't know existed. I might want it. I might want more of that all of a sudden because of that damn song and video, Jake.
I mean, I'll tell you what. Rex gets in that room. I mean, he's got a chance. I'm not saying he's going to get the job, but we all know Rex is very convincing. We want to root for the guy. Hell, I love the guy. You know, he's not my number one choice, but I'll tell you what. I rather Rex Ryan than some of these first timers that have never been coaches before. Like, I think the idea that some people want Aaron Glenn more than Rex, I think is asinine to me. I do not want the first time coach, especially the first time coach with a defensive background. Say whatever you want about Rex, but he'd fix the defense in 5 seconds. He wants the job. I truly do believe he's learned a lot from the last time he's been a coach. His son is on the Lions coaching staff on offense, so maybe he could pluck Josh McCown with him or pluck Mark Brunell with him as a potential coordinator option across the league. Like, I don't know. I'm not as anti-Rex as some. He's not my first choice. I want Vrabel, Flores, etc. But I think he deserves an interview. I mean, this team has been dog crap since he was the coach, so you might as well give him a chance.
Yeah, look, who doesn't love Aaron Glenn, right? Like, we love Aaron Glenn. He was a great Jet. He's doing a great job. But just like you said, how many times are we going to take a guy who's never done the job and endure the learning curve? We don't have the patience for the learning curve. Clearly, it's with quarterbacks, with coaches. It doesn't matter who it is. We're 8 games in, you better have shown us something or you suck and water bottles are getting thrown at you and social media is texting your wife and everything else that we do around here. Media's feasting upon you. So we love Aaron Glenn, but I'm with you, man. Like, Vrabel has been my number one choice for a long time. And I said 2-3 months ago, whatever it was, maybe not that long, maybe like, let's say a month and a half considering this season, but get Vrabel in the building. Do not let him leave. They did, but hire him and let him be involved in the GM search. Vrabel should be the kind of the czar, the football czar. Get football men running the football team. Let Jaime and everybody else do the books and make the money as they see fit. They can monetize the Jets chant, now sponsored by Cash App, whatever the hell they want to do. But you get football guys in here. The whole thing, just like you said, man, when you have a head coach who's done a good job and was fired for one reason or another, they've learned, they've made their mistakes, clock management, whatever it is. You get somebody in here that doesn't have to figure it out for the first time in this gauntlet of an environment. That's Vrabel, that's Flores, that's Rex, that's Matt Nagy, you know what I mean? But some of those guys, like somebody who's done it and has won in the league, like you don't go Adam Gase, who was kind of run out of town in Miami, and he lands on the soft couch in Woody Johnson's office, or Christopher Johnson at the time. That's not the way to do it. Vrabel, Flores, some of those guys, they've had the opportunity. They've won in the league. They've kind of taken the time, not right out of that job into the Jets job, and get them in here so we don't have to endure yet another guy. And then we'll go ahead and we'll couple him with a rookie GM who's never done the job before. And then we'll get a rookie quarterback. Let's do that. We've never done that before. Rookie head coach, rookie GM, rookie quarterback. Why not? Let's do it again. I'm so tired of it.
It's unreal. And look, you hear Rex out, and there's been some people speculating, people that played for Rex, like Leger Duzable told me on the radio last week that he thinks Rex would actually be open to being the DC of the Jets. And I have a hard time picturing that because I feel like Rex's ego would be like, why am I the DC when you guys have been awful since I was the head coach here. But, maybe deep down he would be willing with the right coach to come back. Like, I'll throw out an example, right? Let's say the Jets hire Ben Johnson. Feels unlikely, but stay with me. Ben Johnson's on the coaching staff where Seth Ryan is the receivers coach. Maybe Ben Johnson would be comfortable with Rex Ryan being his DC in that scenario, right? So you keep your options open. There's no harm in talking to Rex. I mean, the last time this team had any success, he was the coach. So I don't have a problem with it. I'd be surprised if he got the job, but I think he deserves the interview. How many people want the job? First off,
Right.
like are passionate about it, right? And care. Like, I don't know. I have no problem with Rex getting the job. I'm glad that, his public campaigning to me and others on ESPN New York worked out, and he's actually going to get the opportunity to sit down with them.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, right? There is value to somebody actually wanting to come back into the cesspool. That is the Jets. Like, we have to sell this place. Like, they say we want to get Vrabel. They did the interview in Florham Park because they want him to see the facility, and we consider our facilities top notch.
They wanted him to see Ulbrich doing his thing on the practice field and being like, "See, this is why we suck. You could change this right away, Mike."
Yeah, come on in. Tell him. He's probably looking and he goes, "Oh yeah, don't." Like in 30 seconds, yeah, he shouldn't be doing that. Why is Ulbrich doing a dance recital on a stage trying to show people how to tackle when they should be doing X, Y, or Z? But yeah, I mean, so there are people and you mentioned Ben Johnson. We got to sell the team to Ben Johnson. We got to put Garrett Wilson out front and say, "Don't worry, we're gonna lock him up. He's gonna be your guy." We got to put our players out front. We got to show the facility. Rex is like, if you say you're gonna give me the job, I take the job. So that has value. And the other thing too, look, I talk about it all the time. Rex was here for 6 years. He had 3 offensive coordinators and 4 years were dog shit when 2 years were great, right? Yes, 2011, he was 8-8, but still, non-winning seasons for 4 of the 6 years, went to Buffalo for 2 years. So he had 6 straight years as an ineffective head coach. So that's the logical side to this. The other side of it is, when Rex came in, he took over a very, very well-built team with Mangini and Tannenbaum collective. We had the Revises, the Mangolds, the Brickashaw Fergusons, the David Harrises of the world. All those guys were here when he Revis, right? They were all here. If you look at this roster, granted it's not perfect, right? Like we got, the CJ Mosleys and whoever else, the old guys we're going to let go. DJ Reed is all but gone. But the team is largely built. So it's a similar dynamic, and a guy who's had experience, he's had, success, and like you said, wants the job. I agree. He should get the interview. If they decided to hire him, I would find it in my heart real quick to be on board, but I'm not choosing him over Vrabel. If all things are equal, I'm taking, even if I got to pay Vrabel 3 times the amount of money, I'm still taking Vrabel over Rex, but I think he deserves the interview as well.
100%. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, your super chats will cut the line. I have some interesting sound to play in regards to Mike Vrabel. There's speculation that, he's just using the Jets for leverage, but one guy who knows Mike Vrabel as well as anyone out there in media said that's not true. We'll play you that, but first, let's talk about our sponsor today. That's Public Rec. Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. I'm going to help improve your wardrobe right now.
Introducing the Workday Pant 2.0, a technical 5-pocket pant designed to feel comfortable and look formal. Made from innovative performance fabric that's water and wind resistant for all seasons. It's not just a better feel, it's also a better fit. The Workday Pant is available in waist and inseam sizes to guarantee a tailored look, so you can be comfortable and feel confident always.
Right here, baby. Save 20% on all items with Public Rec. Improve your wardrobe. The Dealmaker pants, all right? Any pants they have. I can't recommend the hoodies as well. Save 20%. Code Asman, publicrec.com. It is linked in the description box. I'm telling you, the wardrobe choices are endless. Get the Dealmaker pants. I can't recommend those enough. Maybe, just maybe, the Jets could hire Mike Vrabel if Woody Johnson's wearing some Dealmaker pants from Public Rec. Once again, publicrec.com, promo code Asman. You'll save 20%. If you haven't heard of Public Rec, now you have. Trust me, their clothes are phenomenal. Shirts, hoodies, pants, button-downs, polos, you name it, they have it. Publicrec.com. Promo code Asman. Shout out to Public Rec for being part of our show. We're going to bring Greenbean on right now. Greenbean, there is a narrative out there that the Jets are just being used by Mike Vrabel. He's just using them for leverage. Zach Rosenblatt, who spent 6 months writing a story on Mike Vrabel's year out of football, said this yesterday on his podcast.
What do you think of speculation that he's using the Jets?
I don't think he needs to do that. So I get why people would think that, and maybe you would get in Robert Kraft's ear a little bit that like, oh, he's talking to an AFC East team, like maybe I need to make a decision quickly. But ultimately, he doesn't need to do that. Like he's going to get whatever job he wants, pretty much, I think, and that's open. And I don't think money is going to be an issue. This guy's made a lot of money in his life and his career, and he's going to get paid a lot on his next coaching contract. And so, like, if he was worried about the idea that he might not get a job, I could see that. And if he was, they maybe would be the only team he interviewed with until the Patriots job opened, and then you could say that. But I think he's going to interview with a couple other teams. Not all of them, like I said earlier, but he's going to take a couple more interviews. He's going to really evaluate this process, and I think the Jets are, a contender at the very least.
I look at it like this, Greenbean. The fact that they got him in the building, they spoke to him first, I don't think they'd have that opportunity if he wasn't serious about the job and if the Jets weren't serious about obviously hiring him. And I think the biggest advantage the Jets have is that they don't have a general manager. All these other openings where he might interview, we have no idea if he's comfortable with that GM that's in place. I think the Jets are the one team that might say, hey, Mike, who's the GM you want to work with? And we'll interview that guy and we'll pair you guys up. I think it will be very telling if early next week we find out the Jets put in an interview request for Ryan Cowden, who would have been Vrabel's pick of GM after the Titans fired John Robinson when Vrabel was the head coach of the Titans. Cowden was the interim GM. He was already with the organization. He didn't get the job. Vrabel wasn't thrilled with that. They hire Ron Carthon. Him and Vrabel butt heads. The owner ultimately chooses the GM instead of Vrabel, and he finds himself out of a job. If the Jets said, hey, give us some GMs you want to work with, and they request that guy, I think that's a telltale sign the Jets have a legit chance of landing this guy as their head coach. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, and I like what he said, that Vrabel doesn't need to do that, right? Like that's where I've landed. I'm like, all right, well, I can see that stuff. And you see it with free agents a lot, right? When we've seen it with free agents a lot, whether it's Cousins or Hightower with the cupcakes and the whole thing that we did. I don't think Vrabel is a known commodity, and I don't think he needs to leverage anything. He's going to be able to state his demands. Teams that are interested in him, everybody knows why they're interested in him. He's not a first timer trying to kind of show, hey, look, man, you better hire me. Other teams are interested, a la Cliff Kingsbury when we hired Adam Gase and that cycle. You don't need to do that stuff. So I actually I think that's the most important thing that was said in that interview. I mean, I would feel much, much better because I agree with you, right? Like who we interview is going to be telling, right? But I would feel much better, safer, secure if they just, if we heard the Jets are currently in contract negotiations with, like, I would let them pick why interview the guy and do the Hackett, Aaron Rodgers shit? Like, we got to just get him in here and say, dude, just pick your guy. Get him in here. Like, I would feel better about that, but I agree. I think the next couple, the next people that we hear are being, brought in for consideration or even for interviews is going to be telling on how serious it is. Now, you saw the Connor Hughes tweet. He said the interview was very, very, and then I thought this was unnecessary. Three veries, Jake. Positive for both sides. So, I mean, using three veries is a rarity. So maybe it was positive for Vrabel as well. Unless Connor Hughes is just trying to make us think, it's almost like, hey, dude, don't do that to me. All right. Why three veries? Right? What are you trying to do? You're trying to make me get excited for no reason? Or is it good reason to support three veries that Vrabel was impressed and does want the job and is interested in the job for real? I don't know how to reconcile these feelings. I'm tired of being, getting my hopes up and just kind of want to stay as even as I can and just whatever happens, happens. But I'd be lying if I said I really hope Vrabel is the guy.
He's your number one, like me?
Oh, without question. Now, right behind him is Flores for me.
Too.
And the thing is, like, look, I talk to lots of Jets fans as you do. And the thing that continually gets brought up with Flores is his handling of Tua. Now, there was an interview in August with him about that. And he said, I learned a lot from that situation. And the way I handle it, it could have been done differently. That's why number one, that shows humility. Okay. Which is what you want. You want a balls to the wall guy, but a guy that's not so stubborn. Like we've watched our coaches, like they will not alter what they're doing. Every team knows exactly the middle of the defense is just an open season for running. It's like, and they change nothing. I don't want stubborn, but I do want humble. And that's the whole basis for wanting a guy who's done the job before. He made his mistakes in Miami. And let's not forget, he wasn't fired because he sucked. He was fired because he wasn't going to play ball with taking money to tank for the owner and all the other shenanigans that were going on. Don't forget, Miami had their first round pick taken away for bullshit that they were doing with Tom Brady and all that stuff. Flores outed them. That's why he was fired, not for poor performance. So that's why I want a guy who's done the job before. Let them have made their mistakes elsewhere. Come in here with a whole batch of know-it-all and just get the damn job done.
And not for nothing, he probably is going to end up being right about Tua not being a great quarterback. I mean, he's good, not great. He can't stay on the field, and he can never be good teams. So I feel like, well, obviously Tua has been way better since McDaniel took over. What have they won? Right? What have they won? They've made the playoffs and they've been bounced, and Tua can't stay on the field. He's averaged in 13 and a half games started in his career. Like, you can't bank on the guy to play a full season. That's a problem. So I'm with you on Flores. I really do think whoever they end up hiring, Greenbean, that guy's got to have previous coaching experience. I cannot do the first time head coaching. And we talked about it earlier. That just feels like a recipe that is not going to work given where this team is at right now, where the playoff drought is at. I'm tired of these people that come in, they get eaten alive by the media. I can't do it. They need someone that is a hard ass, no nonsense disciplinarian that holds guys accountable. And to me, that is why this guy is clearly the number one, and the Jets need to be all in bringing him in.
Because it sucks to lose, Gentry.
Trey, ever need to show you anything?
Did you have another thought, or no? I'm just curious.
Well,
it fucking sucks. Losing. Awful. That's why I want to win. Because you don't sleep. You want to win for the players that bust their tail. That's it.
I mean, Vrabel's going to give a wedgie to Brian Costello that he tries anything at these pressers. Like, that's what we need right now, Greenbean. We need that energy.
Yeah, I'm tired of it, man. Like, this kind of passive, like, you just know, like when Salah's up there, and same thing with Ulbricht, they're just saying.
Hassan Reddick is the most selfless player Ulbricht has ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, he's a man amongst men. It's like what is this baloney? And we can all see it. And I'm 100% with you. Like when you look back at our success, even Rex, granted the bluster and everything got tired when we're losing. It's tough to be blustery. But what he came in here, the whole I'm not here to kiss Belichick's rings. Lots of people had a problem with that. I never did. Like, no. What do you mean? He said that, when he was hired. Like, wait, are you trying to tell me that I came here to like take a second fiddle? No, I'm here to beat them. Like, that's what we want. I loved statements like, you take a shot at one of ours, we take a shot at two of yours. How do you feel? Are your statements putting a target on your back? That's fine. We have a target on our back because we have one on your chest. Things like that. Like, I like that kind of stuff. And let me just share something with you. I know we've softened the NFL a lot, right? You're not allowed to touch anybody anymore, and you're not allowed to do this. You get fined if you make bully little guns, little fucking 6-shooters. But the truth is these guys are animals. All right. They are bred from 8 years old. They're in peewee football and they're smashing into people, and they go through high school and college, and they're there. They are highly tuned athletes, and they are animals. If you let them loose, you got to contain that and let it loose. Guys like Parcells and Rex and Vrabel, that's what they're going to bring here. Instead of this kind of having a pen in your hat and just sitting on the side. I always would watch Salah on the sideline. Like, what does he do anything during the games? Like, that's the job, not before the game. When the game's happening, you should be running around, fucking talking to people, grabbing face masks, like all that kind of. And he just stood there unless there was a touchdown scored. Then he needed somebody to hold him back. He needed a get back coach. He was uncontainable. He's getting penalties. He's running down to the end zone. Well, how about when shit's going bad? What are you doing? Guys like Vrabel and like I brought up Rex and Parcells, they're running around screaming, trying to figure it out during the game. That's what I want. I want a coach who looks like he's working. Remember Gay sitting on the bench writing stories in a notebook? What is that? I was like, I cannot believe this is my experience. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I'll tell you what, Greenbean. There's a lot of reasons why I want Mike Vrabel, and I think the Jets have a legit chance to get him. And I think we all should be rooting for Drake May in New England to ball out tomorrow, so they could point to ownership. Hey, Gerard Mayo hasn't playing hard, and you don't want to get rid of the whole coaching staff and have to pay all their money to go away, and then have to pay Vrabel all this money. You got to keep Gerard Mayo. But I'll tell you what, the biggest reason why I want Mike Vrabel is that this man is willing to make the ultimate sacrifice to win a Super Bowl as a head coach.
Would you cut your dick off for a Super Bowl?
Oh, been married 20 years. Yeah, probably.
You've got 3.
As a player. I guess I'll be married for 20 years one day.
That's the best.
I rest my case. The man would chop off his manhood to win a Super Bowl. I'm sold.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, look, man, are you willing to do that? He is. Bring him in here, man. Let's get it going. That's some serious talk.
No brainer. No brainer. Hire the guy. Let's go. Get it done. Let him pick the GM. I'm not sitting here telling you that he's the greatest coach ever, this or that, but he's the most established coach out there. Guys, won before. I mean, anyone who could go to the playoffs 3 times with Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback, anyone who can go to the playoffs and beat Brady and Belichick and beat Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh on the road, anyone who can win 3 division titles, anyone who could go out there and go to an AFC championship game, like with rosters that were never great, that's a good coach. That is a good coach. At the bare minimum, if you're the Jets, you know you at least have a good NFL coach on your sideline. And here's the thing with Vrabel, too. In his 6 years as an NFL head coach, 6-0 after the bye. How often have the Jets sucked under Robert Saleh and now Obrick post extra rest, right? Like when the Jets have like their rest advantage, they always lose. Vrabel's one of the best. That's a sign of a good coach. When you give this guy extra time to prepare, his teams are ready because he's one of the best coaches in the NFL, and that's what they need so badly.
Yeah, man. I mean, don't give us an extra 4 hours of sleep. Don't do it. We're under the Saleh regime. We're going to lose. You know, and that's the whole thing, man. Like when you brought up Tannehill, let's just remember what that was. He was tossed out of Miami. He was garbage. He was brought into Tennessee to be the backup to what's his name? Mariota. Okay. He ended up winning the job. And then Vrabel was able to make him, and he didn't win the job. Mariota sucked so bad that Tannehill got put in, and they were able to win. And dude, we talk about offense all the time. 2 consecutive offensive coordinators of his were hired for head coaching jobs, one of which is still the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, Arthur Smith didn't do so well in Atlanta, but the point remains. There's a focus on offense. All right, like when we've had the defensive, I mean, look, Adam Gase, Greg Williams was our defensive head coach. What is that shit? You know, so and Rex even had 3 offensive coordinators. Bowles had 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years. We've had 7 offensive coordinators in the last 10 years, Jake. That's because the focus on offense is secondary. We have good defenses, and we're going through offensive coordinators like they're Tic Tacs, like they're orange Tic Tacs. Remember, you buy orange Tic Tacs, you eat the whole damn thing. That's what we're doing with our offensive coordinator. We're just going through them like orange Tic Tacs. And it's time, like when you look at Vrabel, there was a focus on offense, so much so that their offensive coordinators were hired for head coaching jobs. That can't be understated, the value of that.
If you're watching this live right now, click that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're talking with the great Greenbean. Make sure you guys subscribe to his YouTube channel, Greenbean Jets Fan. For every membership gifted or every $20 super chat, you will receive raffle tickets to be entered in our next Asmaniac raffle. One of the grand prizes now includes the replica Joe Willie Namath Super Bowl III Ring of Champions, a Jet mini helmet that I will be sending your way with the new logo, a Jet winner hat, items from the Jake Asman merch store, and a whole lot more to be eligible. All you need to do is become a channel member or gift a fellow membership for your fellow Asmaniacs. Some super chats now, shall we? Joe the Jet, he writes in, Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe? I like Dart because to me he looks more like a pure passer, as someone you could take maybe in the second or third round. Your thoughts on these quarterbacks coming out there, Greenbean? Is there anyone that catches your eye? I'd be a little surprised if the Jets in the first round took a quarterback, but if they lose Sunday and the football gods are smiling down on them, which probably won't happen,
which never happens,
they could be picking as high as number 2 overall, and then a quarterback would definitely be in play for this new regime.
Yeah, well, yeah. It sucks to be in this conversation in a year that's typically, like we talk about, it's not a strong quarterback class, right? That's what we're saying. And Shedeur Sanders, they're going to dictate who and where he goes to and all that jazz. So you're really left with like Ward. If you're at the number 2 pick, you're looking at Ward. You're looking at the guys like Milroe or Dart, like you said later. Here's the thing. We've had strong quarterback classes. Right, 2021, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields. How'd that end up? Nobody knows shit about strong or not strong. It's all about, if we're at number 2, what I would do is I would be outside on my front lawn at One Jets Drive with a big sign, for sale. Okay, that's what I'd be doing. For sale. Come up and get your quarterback here. That's what I'd be doing. And I would try to set this organization up with another first-round pick next year, a second-round pick this year, and a fifth, something like that, and give us some capital to go and make some moves next year. Let this year, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with Aaron Rodgers. I have a sneaking suspicion that he's going to be gone. He's going to go to San Francisco, play 1 year where he was supposed to go in the first place, win his Super Bowl, more Jets pain. That's what, just look at it. I mean, if you look at the story and our history, yeah, it's totally going to happen. So Aaron Rodgers is gone. You got Tyrod Taylor. You got the kid that we drafted last year, Jordan Travis. Let him play it out and then see where we are. That's what I think. I'm not taking a quarterback in the first round. I do love Milroe as a project. If they're going to do that, I just don't want to see him start, Jake. I don't want to see him come in and start talking about savior of the franchise like we did with Zach and Sam and Sanchez. Like, you're the savior of that. I don't want any of that shit. I want him to come in, sit down, hang out for a year, learn, whatever you need to, get in the weight program, the diet program, all that stuff, and let's work them in slow, as opposed to what we always do is just take this kid, throw him to the New York Jets Wolves, and then throw shit at him.
I agree. Look, if they end up taking a quarterback somehow early, there's no scenario where that guy should be playing right away. None. I mean, the last time they actually sat a quarterback was Pennington, and that worked. So maybe we get back to that.
Good.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, I'd love it.
Tony writes in, we got a few minutes left for Greenbean here, so get your questions in. We'll rapid fire through all of them. Jake, in your opinion, where would you rank Vrabel in top active NFL head coaches? I think the guy's a top 10 coach. If the Jets hire him, I think he'd be a top 10 coach. The thing is, too, people can be like, well, what happened at the end of Tennessee? Like, every coach is allowed to have a down season. Like, also, a lot of what happened in Tennessee was because the roster was never that great to begin with, and it took everything being perfect just to win in the first place. Like, Tannehill's career renaissance. Tannehill was banged up the last few years there. They got rid of A.J. Brown. I mean, look at some of the draft selections that they made the last few years there. Like, the fact that Vrabel was as successful as he was a testament to his coaching. They regressed a little bit to the mean once some things like the health of Tannehill didn't go their way. I mean, the Niners are having a down year. Is Kyle Shanahan all of a sudden not a great coach? Like, it happened. Right. So I think Vrabel's a top 10 coach in the NFL.
Agreed, man. And he didn't want to trade A.J. Brown. And they did that. Yep. Don't worry. We got a kid in the draft. We're going to get him. He's going to replace him fine. We're going to save some money. See how that worked.
Unreal. Rat Diddy says, any coaching and GM sleepers out there we're not talking about yet? It's a good question, Greenbean. Is there anyone that you think has a legit chance at either of these jobs?
Well, I'm almost loath to say it because I said it once or twice, and it was like weeks of untying the knots. But I think a sneaky one is Matt Nagy. He's got, 4 years of head coaching experience. He's an offensive mind. He's got a winning record as a head coach. 2 of the 4 years were in the playoffs. Don't forget, he lost a playoff game with a double doink, right? So, and he's since being a head coach, went back to Andy Reid. So he's kind of simmering and brewing over there. Like, there's a lot. I know we don't like him, and he's not my top guy or anything like that, but I think he's a sneaky candidate that the Jets might be enthralled with. You know, Tanny in the room might say, I can't believe this guy's available, like he did with Rex in the interview. So I don't know. I wouldn't be blown away if Matt Nagy's the guy.
That would not be a good hire to me, but you're not wrong. I mean, offensive guy, previous coaching experience. You can see how they try and sell it.
Winning record as a coach, play two of 50% playoff appearance. I mean, come on.
With Trubisky as his quarterback. I mean, the resume is really, the perception, I will admit, the perception of Matt Nagy is a lot worse than the actual resume, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's all there. It's all there. And it's the Bears. They're a perpetually slapstick organization too, man. So
that's true.
You know, you can kind of, you can't hold that against them.
I think Cliff Kingsbury is a sleeper. I do. Offensive guy, coaching experience, made the playoffs in Arizona, talked a lot this week about what he learned from his first go-around, how he would do it differently in establishing the ground rules immediately a lot better than what he did the first time. Like, he just didn't know, he said, and now he's learned a lot from being under Dan Quinn this past year. So
former Jets quarterback.
That's right. That's right. And also, he'd be the most handsome head coach in New York immediately if they hired him. That's got to play a part.
I don't know. I think Sexy Rexy's got him.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing. If I'm Rex, he's got to go in there and he's got to tell him he's going back to being Fat Rex if he takes the job.
That's right, man. What's this skinny shit? We want Fat Rex back.
He's got to be like, the lap band's being removed. Let's party. And then I think Tandem will be like, you know what? That might be worth hiring.
Yeah, you leave pretzel M&Ms on the table and say, you need to eat that whole bowl of pretzel M&Ms before we even start this interview. We're not doing this skinny Rex stuff.
Barney, Rex, not the best choice, but ... the right choice. I'll tell you what, if we're going to be dog crap no matter what we do because we're the Jets, at least let's have some fun with Rex for a couple months here.
Yeah, let the clown car arrive, baby. Let's just do it. And that's the thing. If we look at this as just the most exciting sitcom on television, and we can maybe reorganize our passions and go, hey, man, this was fun. Yeah, we lost and all. But hey, what a blast we had on the way. Rex is digging graves for people and throwing in footballs and, all kinds of fun. He's coming in with pillows in his stomach and wigs. And yeah, let's have a blast.
Let's do it. Let it rip. Carl writes, and I believe that Rex has the ability to come back and Kosh, he may have been retired, but he hasn't been disconnected from football as a commentator. And his son still coaches in the league on offense on probably the most innovative offensive staff in the league in Detroit. So, if Rex tells you he's got some guys from Detroit he's bringing with him to be part of this coaching staff on offense, you got to at least hear him out. Like, he's talked about how he's learned a lot and knows way more about how to run an offense this go around if you got the opportunity than previously. I'm just saying, the idea that this is like some joke, like, Rex deserves an opportunity to interview if we're going to interview Ron Rivera. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right. You make a good point, though. It's like, there is a connection to the Lions staff. Now, Ben Johnson is likely to become a head coach, so that bumps a lot of those people up. So they would be, I think, inclined to stay with the success, especially getting promotion. But there is that potential there, and I don't think Rex is kind of a novel interview either. I think it's legit. I mean, the last person who had success in this environment is him. Yes, you can say 2015 with Todd Bowles, but Rex ended that shit for us too. He stuck the stake in that season as the coach of the Bills. So I don't think it's, I don't think it's what's going to happen, but I don't think it's anywhere near impossible. It's not a joke.
Swamp Ranger writes in, Bean, they're waiting to hire Vrabel until they complete their interviews with you for the GM. That's right. If Mike Vrabel says, get me Greenbean, as much as we enjoy your content on YouTube, Greenbean, and I enjoy you being a friend to all in the Jet YouTube community, I mean, if Mike Vrabel wants you, I feel like we have to obviously let you take the job and lead the Jets to glory.
That's right. I haven't even gotten a call, Jake. So I sent my stuff in. They're not viewing me as a serious candidate. I know I would fix the Jets in 2 years. 2 years, and we'd be in the playoffs. But they don't believe me, so I gotta just let it go, I think.
Shame. Jamie writes in, Asman/GB, the Jefferson/Lincoln of Jets content Mount Rushmore. Thanks for keeping all this going for us gluttons of punishment, guys. Jamie, thank you very much. Best fan base in sports, Greenbean, and it is a damn shame how passionate and how incredible this fan base is, despite getting nothing from the organization that we all root for.
It's the worst investment we've ever made as a collective. It's the worst investment this large of a collective has ever made in the history of mankind, I think. We're owed.
Tough to argue with that one. Damn. Knob, how do you feel about the prospect of Woody interviewing a female head coach and GM to help get the mess at 1JD cleaned up? I really don't care whether they're female, male, black, white, purple, it, they, them. If they could do the job well, I'm good. I just want to win, man. I don't care who it is, as long as they come in and they help get this team from being dog crap to actually being a winner.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel, but I'm kind of with you too. Like, I don't really care. Like, whatever. And then again, hiring the first female anything, head coach, GM, whatever. It's more story. We'd be breaking news, wouldn't we? We'd be out there in the mainstream. CNN would have us. I mean, it's like, it falls right in line. I wouldn't be blown away if it happened. I don't have an issue. I would love to see somebody come in who's competent and just does things in a way that ends up with winning. That's all I really care about.
I want to win. All right.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Alan writes in, Rex isn't coming back to New York to kiss Mayo's first overall pick.
That's good.
Alan,
good,
appreciate you. Sam writes in, Louis Riddick is overrated. Why always bring him up when there's a GM opening? I mean, he's interviewed for a bunch of teams over the last few years. That's why his name keeps getting brought up. His problem is he hasn't been in an NFL front office since 2013, and I think he's also hurt by the fact Mike Mayock left TV to go work with Gruden and the Raiders, and they didn't do a good job with personnel and draft selection. So I think that hurts Louis Riddick's chances too.
Yeah, and he's making fun of Jets fans.
Yes.
Out there. What are you going to attack us? What did we do? We don't have any control over it. Hey, sit down and learn. So what if we learned everything? We still can't do anything. I tried to get hired as the damn GM, or at least the interview. They won't let us in. So we have no impact. Why are you picking on us? Don't what? You haven't had enough pain? This is the worst choice for, he would handle it like he's a TV personality. I don't like him.
Michael writes in, the 30 for 30 on the sack exchange was awesome. Nice to remember when we didn't stink. That's true. Now, you lived through the sack exchange era, Greenbean. So did you get a chance to watch the 30 for 30? And if so, what did you think?
I didn't finish it. Because I only have time like late. So I end up putting on TV and falling asleep. It's not because of the show. It doesn't matter what I watch. I pass out. It could be explosions and everything. I'm done. But so I haven't finished it yet. But yeah, I mean, the sack exchange is the era that I became a fan. So I was, intimately woven. Those guys are intimately woven into my Jets fandom. I can't believe it's been that long. I'm glad to see Klecko finally making it into the Hall of Fame. I'm a firm believer that if Klecko and Gastineau were on the Steelers, the Cowboys, or teams like that, they would have been first ballots. So it's just one of those things that I'm happy to see them kind of being given some accolades, some recognition of how great they really were, because we knew it, but we were alone. The internet didn't exist. Nobody knew who the hell these guys were and what Joe Klecko and Mark Gastineau, Marty Lyons, and the rest, Salam, were doing. And look, man, you never see it anymore. Two guys on a defensive line with 20 sacks plus. It's like we rarely see anybody, even guys with 12 sacks are considered pass rushing demons in 16, 17 games, 12, 15 sacks, and they're elite. These guys were getting 19, 20, 20 and a half, 20, and they were doing it on the same line at the same time. Like that never happened. So it's nice to see it finally be brought out front.
Adam writes in, we're the suck exchange this year. Well done.
We were looking for a name for our defense. Remember in the beginning when we were all excited? Little did we know the suck exchange would be what we are.
I mean, where does Hassan Reddick rank amongst the best Jets players to ever put on the uniform?
Oh, he's way up there.
Is he ahead of Michael Clemens on the all-time rankings?
He's up there with Lorenzo Malden and Michael Clemens. I want to like Michael Clemens, man, so much, and I don't know if you've met him. I met him. He was really fun. I only got a few minutes with him, but he was fun. Like, I don't know. I like him, and I do. He's a big, imposing guy, but boy, oh boy,
looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Oh man. Couple more for Greenbean here, then we'll wrap, and I'll stay on for some of the calls. Alan says every team Ron Rivera was a head coach for has been sold while he was the head coach. Ron Rivera to the Jets. I saw this gaining some steam yesterday. Honestly, a lot of Jet fans would say, all right, if we hire Ron Rivera and we suck for 2 more years, but Woody Johnson then eventually has to sell, might be worth it, right? I mean, that is a real thing. Ron Rivera, he's a head coach for a team. That owner ends up having to sell. It happened in Carolina, happened in Washington. Greenbean, if I tell you Woody Johnson has to sell within 2 or 3 years after the Jets hire Ron Rivera as their head coach, would you hire Ron Rivera?
Dude, that is some higher level thinking right there. That's advanced. When we say somebody's playing chess and others are playing checkers, that is some chess type thinking right there. I would sign on. Dude, I've been here 42 years. I've gotten nothing. So I'll take 3 more years and then, kind of getting what I see as one of, if not the major issue with the Jets out of the picture. I would do that every day of the week, Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, I never thought I would see the day that I would have to do something that honestly it hurts me deep down inside. Like I can't believe I'm going to have to do this. But unfortunately, I'm left with no choice. There's a guy who listens to this show. He's a brilliant Jets fan, passionate, loves the team. He's also only 13 years old. His name is Connor Long. And he just wrote in that Ron Rivera greater than Rex Ryan. And it pains me to have to do this, but Connor Long, to Stupid Town you go.
F you. F you. F you too.
Come on, Connor. Ron Rivera, who's had 3 winning seasons his entire time as a head coach over Sexy Rexy. We can't have that.
In his defense, I forget exactly what is Connor 13, 14, something along those lines. He doesn't know. He doesn't remember. He looks at Rex Ryan like we look at Don Maynard. You know what I mean? We're like, I don't know. It's like black and whitey. You know what I mean? Like in his brain, he doesn't know. So I can see it. But again, I agree with Jake, Connor. You got to reorganize your thoughts there. You got to do some research, buddy. Rex is sexy.
People never bring up the 2013 year where Izek was fundamentally trying to tank and destroy that team, and Rex was too good of a coach. They won 8 games with rookie year Geno Smith, and then it fell apart the following year because Geno wasn't that good, and the roster got even worse than it was in 13. But it's like it's like, oh, well, Rex after 2010, they never had any success. Him going 8-8 in 2013 was one of the more impressive coaching jobs I've seen by anyone.
That's true. Remember the cornerback that Idzik signed?
Oh, Dimitri Patterson. He went
remember that shit? Like, you forget how painful the Idzik years really were. He was hot garbage he brought in Decker. That was like the one thing he did. He found Inunwa in the 6th round, who was really a lot better than I thought he would be. It sucks that with the injuries with him, but he did a big bunch of nothing while he was here, Idzik.
I mean, Izek was so bad, man. His drafts, I mean, and even Quincy Enunwa couldn't stay healthy, unfortunately. And they really got nothing from those entire 2 years. Actually, random story that people will appreciate. My friend Cody, who I used to do radio with down in Houston, Cody Stutz, who's been on the show before, he was randomly out at a restaurant in Houston the other day. And he sent me a text. You're never going to guess which former disappointment Jet draft pick is at this restaurant I'm at right now. And I was thinking, who could it be? And
Calvin Pryor.
I was like, man, who is this? He gave me a hint. He goes, hint the state of Texas. And I wrote active player in the NFL ? And he wrote not active. And I just threw it out there. Jason Morrow. And he wrote, damn, great guess. I go, I felt like I had a chance. He went to Texas Tech. I know you went to Texas Tech. And then he sent me a picture of Jason Morrow at a restaurant, just like sitting there. My buddy Cody went up to him. Jason Morrow now works in oil in Midland, Texas. He was on a business trip in the Houston area and happened to be out to dinner at the same restaurant my buddy was at. And I go, ask him about the time he had 10 catches and a touchdown in a 31-17 loss to the Broncos in week 6 and why he never caught another pass again after that.
Yeah, say what happened there. We'd like to know.
Oh, man. That was another Izzik specialty. Second-round pick, Jason Morrow, stunk.
He stunk. It's a crazy thing because his rookie year, he led all the rookie tight ends in receptions, right? There was Austin Seferius Jenkins. I forget the guy who was taken. There was another one. I forget who it was, but he looked good. And then he just fell off a cliff and was out of the league in like 2 years. Crazy what happens to some of these guys.
Midland, Texas, Jason Morrow. Living the dream, working in that oil and gas down in Texas. Shout out to him. Oh, man. Mercy Fate with a super chat. Ideas of what Vrabel staff will look like OC, DC special teams. I couldn't tell you DC and special teams wise. I do think OC wise is reading that story in The Athletic yesterday. Tommy Rees, who has kind of bounced around a little bit. He was the Alabama OC. Before that, he was a quarterback at Notre Dame. Now he's on the Cleveland Browns coaching staff as like their pass game coordinator. I think he would be Vrabel's OC choice, connecting the dots, but I really don't have enough info to really speculate on the DC or ST. Imagine Rex would be like, I'll be the DC for Vrabel. Wouldn't that be best case scenario?
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? I wonder if they could, but because I agree with you, like Rex on a staff anymore, I don't know if you can contain him and just kind of keep him in his pocket.
Would his ego allow him to work for Mike Vrabel? That's the question.
Yeah. I mean, maybe because, look, he's been out of coaching for so long. Maybe
if you want to get back in, this is your only opportunity.
Right. You want to get back in. Maybe you're a good boy. I just don't know if he can do that. I will say if the Giants staff gets let go, I would love Kafka as an offensive coordinator. I think he's the real deal. So I would.
What if Dable got fired and then all of a sudden you can bring him as the OC?
Right. I would do. Could you imagine Vrabel Dable?
Oh, that'd be fun to say.
Vrabel Dable. All day. I'd be saying it in my sleep.
Print the shirts. Vrabel Dable 2025. Let's go.
I'd be whispering it in my sleep. Vrabel Dable. Vrabel. That would be so much fun. And because they're two hard asses. And I would there's nothing slipping by. That collective, nobody's going to be playing at half speed and staying on the field. And that's what I think is one of our biggest things. When Brick took over, it was like accountability. That was what we were all talking about. Accountability. And no one was held accountable. Zerline was still allowed to kick. They eventually, like 3 or 4 weeks later, they benched Tony Adams. Like, why'd you bench Tony Adams? What did he do wrong? That other people aren't doing wrong. Guys are giving up sacks. Guys are dropping passes all over the place. And no accountability. So I think Vrabel Dable would be amazing.
Jet fan writes in, what about Robert Saleh? He's a young, energetic guy that can make our defense elite.
He's very motivational, I heard, too. People want to play. They want to run through a brick wall for him, Jake.
He will be a DC for somebody. It just won't be for the Jets. No doubt.
No doubt.
Altoona Sandwich writes in, Jake cast Connor down with the sodomites. Connor was being obtuse. I had no choice. I didn't send him to the hole. We just sent him to stupid town for 5 minutes. Now I'm seeing, of course, Alan try and defend Connor because this is what Alan wants to do. Oh, Ron Rivera went to a Super Bowl. Yeah, Ron Rivera had the MVP of the league that year in Cam Newton. And guess what? Rex Ryan had Mark Sanchez. That's why he couldn't eventually, I believe, get to the Super Bowl or have sustained success. Rex overachieved with some of his rosters. Ron Rivera, I think, underachieved in the grand scheme of things when you look at his resume.
Yeah. Well said. Perfectly stated.
Greenbean, you are the man. I always love when I get a chance to chop it up with you. Enjoy the grand finale of Jets football tomorrow. I'll be watching the live stream with you and Frankie and our guy Jeremy Jets Chaos. It's going to be madness.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited about it. I do want the season to end, if I'm being completely frank. But I'm excited to have some fun tomorrow. Yeah, we start at like 4:00 tomorrow. Greenbean Jets fan on YouTube. Come hang with us. We have a good time no matter what the hell's going on. We make lemonade out of lemons over here.
There's nothing like Jets football with Greenbean Jet fan. GB, you're the best. Thanks for hopping on as always.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jake. Happy New Year to you and everybody else. Thanks for having me on. This is fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Greenbean joining us. Fun Saturday spot with him. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Your calls coming up. Reminder, raffle. We have the mini helmet. We have the Super Bowl III replica ring, the winner hat, and more merch items. This will be our 10th raffle. We do one basically every week. The next one will be probably either Monday or Tuesday once I can count up the full list of names, get everyone entered, and we will pick some winners. If you've won an item before, we're caught up to date as far as everything being sent out to the winners of our first 9 raffles. Let's see. Julio checks in. I could see a Jet Fisher Buddy Ryan brawl if things aren't going well with Vrabel and Rex as his DC. You know, I don't see Rex taking the DC job. I don't even know if Vrabel would want to hire him, but I certainly wouldn't hate it. If Rex really wants to get back in, you can't deny that he'd be perfect as the DC. You can't deny it. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I appreciate everyone that is tuned in right now. Let's get to some of your calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline.
If you go to gusbuster.com, you could purchase the best umbrella in the universe. And you could use the promo code Jake, so you'll get 15% off on any of your umbrellas.
First up on the Gusbuster Hotline today is Kyle Clifton. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, Jake? Thanks for taking me first. I'm on my way out the door to a CYO basketball game.
Are you coaching it?
Oh, no. Those days are long over. So I wanted to say that it is the right tack to take to look at these former head coaches that with offensive expertise like Kingsbury, like Nagy, like Arthur Smith, and to bring them in and see what they have to say about what they've learned from being the head coach the first time. That doesn't mean that they're all created equal, right? I think that we will all have preferences in the pecking order about who we would like over someone else. I think Arthur Smith's probably at the end of that. Although, you know, there are guys in the Pittsburgh organization that I like that might come with him, and there are guys, you know, that Nagy's probably has a relationship with that I wouldn't mind coming with him. But that's the kind of thing that you try and do if you are dedicated to an offensive guy that's been a head coach before. You've seen where some of these second-time head coaches like Tony Dungy have had success in the league the second time around. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to catch lightning in a bottle with some of these guys.
Agreed.
That said, Vrabel's probably the guy. And everything I'm seeing leading up through this process is just done everything to reinforce it.
They could give everything he wants to Vrabel, and like it would make sense. Like, no one's saying he's Parcells, but he's the closest thing to what Parcells represented in '97 to what they could find out there among any available option.
And as many problems as the Jets have with the perceptions around their job, I think some of these other teams have just as many, if not more.
They do. And real football people know that. Like, the perception of the Jets is joke, biggest laughing stock ever. People that follow football can see what the problems are, right? The roster, leading the NFL in drops. It's like the penalties, the lack of discipline. Like, these are things that can be cleaned up with better coaching. There's talent there. Like, they're not your typical 4-12 team. And how do I know this? Look at point differential. And 4-12 teams don't typically lead the NFL in blown fourth quarter losses. Typically, you're just dog crap if you're that bad. The Jets are dog crap for different reasons, if that makes sense.
Right. Thanks, Jake.
Kyle, good luck at the CYO game. I can hear the passion behind you from the screaming children ready to go. Nothing like it. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Joining us right now is someone that is highly respected around these parts. He brings passion. He brings energy. We say hello to Beastbreaker 666. What's up, Beast?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the grand jury. I like this guy's point. What I was hearing, we'll get Mike, but we'll need Rex too. We're gonna put that two-way combination of destruction together, and we will be a force to be reckoned with. You know how scary that combination will look. It will look like a nightmare for the AFC East next year when the season starts. But this year, let's finish this game tomorrow. Let's look at getting that win, and then start looking at getting that $10 billion and start looking at other teams. It is time to get off our asses, stop worrying about veteran talent, and go out and get the talent. It is not this difficult to take $10 billion out and go all over the United States, over 100,000 colleges, and look for talent. This is not the most difficult. This is simple, easy, mathematical shit to learn. And come Sunday, I'm going to tell you all Jet fans one thing. We're not going to sit on our asses. We're going to get off our asses, cheer for our team, get up, and realize that, hey, when we win this match, we're going to look back at this and just think, okay, there's our turning point right there. Then we look to the NFL draft, and we watch closely what we get. Oh, Swamp Ranger, you could eat this right here. Now back to football. Now, we're going to get other things too. We're also going to get a brand new offensive line and a defensive line. And as I addressed it, those pink slips will be going out. I mean, bye-bye. You offensive line, defensive line, you look like you shit the bed and you didn't even bother to kick it out with your feet. And kickers, Greg Zuerlein, you did great, but unfortunately, you didn't hold up your end of the bargain. So bye-bye, little fella. Carlson, you did great. Unfortunately, you didn't last too long, and your leg looks like crap anyway. So
hey,
see ya.
Gia's saying that you had breakfast, or you had bacon for breakfast today. Is that true?
Is this guy, sweetheart, please don't even think about trying me, because I will not only go through everyone. Don't even attempt. Don't even try. That was a stupid question. Next question, please. Now let's get back to football, shall we?
Mike writes that he doesn't like your face.
I don't give a rat's ass what he thinks. Hey, I'm here for one reason. Football only. This is not Jerry Springer. This is not other stupid shit. This is football, not reality. And on to Peter Castro, eat this, buddy. You can take that to the bank, courtesy of the $1 Million Man. How you like them apples? Now, this is what we need to do. Focus on getting new talent. That means offensive line, defensive line. Offensive line. The first thing I'm going to address, 270 pounds to 300. We need big boys who will eat that line and make other teams pay. I'm sorry, David Briga, you are an idiot. Jerry Springer, I seen him live in 2008. Unfortunately, get off your point and get out of here. You're a bum. You're a whack ass. Now get out of here. Now let's concentrate on football, shall we? The defensive line. I want a Carl Banks, Lawrence Taylor, and also I do want other guy that I do remember, Jason Ferguson, Dwayne Robinson, John Abraham. Oh, let's see, Mo Lewis, Marvin Jones. These are breakfast,
Beast Breaker. That's what MC.
I'm sorry, man. Guys. If you're gonna throw football questions, not retarded questions. I'm here for football. So either shut up, learn and listen, or clean your ears out with a thing called a Q-tip and clean that shit out of your ears, every once in a while. This is not.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
I'm getting sick of hers.
Oh, it's my dumbass jackass. Do not make fun of Rick Kent or Dave Briggy pile of shit.
Hey.
You shut the
quiet
fuck up.
Your big fat mouth, you big fat tubby. Listen, Teddy. Hey, you have a hubby, but I heard the last I checked, you got a tubby. You might as well go down and you go get yourself a slubby. Hey, little bitch, I got your 7-year itch right down your own G-string when you can't even pop a pilly. So go back to the front line and go back and get your old front line.
And do not talk about my friends, Rick, Dave.
Hey, player, take a lick and get a ticket and get the stepping. All right? I'm here. I'm real, and you are fake. You are a clown, and you're a smart. And all I'm going to tell you is right here, right now, I'm going to knock your teeth out, and I'll do it Apollo Creed style, and all I got to do is go, hey, get your cameras ready. Get your cameras ready.
Let's go.
One, two. I told you, boy. I will kick your teeth down your throat, boy. Sonny, take your Harlem Heat ass out of here and take a licking and get the
Nobody wants you here, you fat elephant shit. We don't want you on the show.
Hey, monkey breath. You got anything else better to say before I come knocking at your doorstep and giving you a nice pies down and a calzone right at your doorstep?
I'll come straight to
How
your
about you
house.
drop dead is more like it. Drop dead on your ass and see how it feels the other way around. How you like that, hot shot?
You're probably in
Come Sunday, I will kick you out of here and I will put you right off the earth. And one way or the other, let me remind you something, Sonny. You are like a big basketball, and you know who's coming before it? I am. I'm Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm going to slam dunk you all night long, and you will be my bitch.
Get off your, you can't even get your, off your, oh, yeah, here you go.
Nah, you can. You know what? Yeah, in the words of the great Tony Soprano, you know, Bafagu, Bafagu.
You're a big fat babagoo. Shut up, 600.
Yeah, you're nothing but a pile of old gabagoo. You couldn't even touch my. You couldn't even touch me with one blow.
Do your brother ever?
Mike Rotunda, hey, eat this, Buster. Take that to the bank with you, monkey nuts.
Won't you shove your finger up your ass and rotate?
Hey, I shave every day. Thank you very much. At least I stick to a clean shave. And I also do it the Japanese way because I also represent the real people of Japan.
Oh,
see, I've been doing it for a long time, son. I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to.
You're a sumo wrestler. You wear those big-ass diapers, huh? You're a sumo wrestler, right?
Kid, are you on crack? Are you seriously on crack? I think somebody better call the crack department. In the words of my good friend Mr. Kennedy from Louisiana, as he once said, kids, don't look at this guy. Get help. 1-800-GET help, please.
You get help,
please do. Nah, boy, I'm all this. You're all that.
Yeah.
I'm Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Charles Barkley. I'm Michael Jordan. I'm also Scottie Pippen and Patrick Ewing combined.
Won't you get your fat ass out of that bed once in a while? You.
How about you bend over and taking up the booty hole behind a 7-Eleven?
Oh,
sucker.
Yeah, that's what you do. You do it with a man.
Son. You're not even worth even the effort. And Mr. 25, you can bend over and take it up the ass for 50 cents, you big momo.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Boy, did that escalate quickly, huh? Jeez. What a time to be alive on this channel. More of your calls right now. I think we need to go to someone that can maybe calm us down, provide a nuanced perspective on the Jets. Some would say an up-close and personal perspective as well.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, David.
This is the second time you're putting the pressure on me. It's a tough act to follow. Beastbreaker, he like I said, he scares me in a good way. The only thing is, I'm a little afraid he puts that finger up there, and I think it's gonna come through the phone and go into my irritated eye. I'm a little afraid of that. But you know, two proud men simply trying to talk things out. You know.
Yep. Exactly. That's how I see it as well.
Yeah, and real quick, I won't take much of your time, but towards the end of the call, I do have an update on my eye. The coaches, Vrabel, Flores, you know, they're my top two. But Rex, when you and Greenbean were talking about Rex and his personality and all that kind of stuff, I was born close to Philadelphia, Reading, Pennsylvania, and you know, I was up there when his dad, Buddy, was coaching the Eagles, and you know, his character. He was so funny and all that, and all that kind of stuff, and you know, very entertaining and everything. But the bottom line, you know, I believe if I have my facts straight, he was a Marine, and you know, all that discipline. But the bottom line is, you know, he was a terrific head coach. But they had Randall Cunningham back then, and their defense was one of the best defenses ever, I think. But you know, their offense, they just couldn't seem to put up enough points, you know. But anyway, Rex, I think that's where he gets everything from his father. You know, I remember Buddy so well. And so, you know, uh, but like you were saying, if they do hire Rex, they do need the offensive coordinator. But I just remember, like I said, Buddy was a character, and I think that's where Rex gets all his personality from.
100%. Yeah, look, Rex is not my first choice, but I would take him over some of these guys that have never had a coaching gig in their life and are going to try and come in here and turn this ship around. I don't see that being the wisest of moves, so he's not my first choice, Rex, but I mean,
Right,
he's in my top 5 amongst experienced coaches, no doubt.
But you and Greenbean talking about Vrabel, I mean, I'm I want to.
That's the guy, right?
I don't want to.
That's the guy.
Yeah. I want to pump the brakes a little bit because I'm pretty excited about it already.
How about the fact that he'd sacrifice his manhood to win a Super Bowl? Would you do that?
Yes. If I was in his position and a famous player and football coach and loved the game so much, I actually think if you put a gun to my head, I actually think I would, Jake.
Would you cut your dick off for a Super Bowl?
Oh, been married 20 years. Yeah, probably.
You've got 3
As a player. I guess I'll be married for 20 years one day.
Hey, you know what? Mr. Vrabel might bring a lot of Rex's character in itself. He says some stuff that makes us laugh, and good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, David, before you go, you said you have an eye update for us, so we definitely need that.
Yes, and because all you people, you people have been nice to me and everything. So yesterday I thought, you know what, I got to go to the doctor and have him check it out. So he checked it out and he diagnosed it right away. He says, "I know what's wrong with you." He says, "You have the New York Jets irritated eye syndrome."
Oh.
And I said, "Well, what is that, Doc?" He says, "When they're having a bad season, which they normally do, it affects your eye, like your blood pressure type thing, and it can cause irritation." He says, "But the cure is you're getting to the end of the season. The cure is keep taking your drops, drink a few beers, and once the season's over, you're going to see things more clearly, and you're going to be full of optimism after the season's over."
Ladies and gentlemen, the great David T.
I got my eye on you, Jay. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
That's good to hear about David's condition. Love that. Ladies and gentlemen, Merkla writes in, "Jacob, the show is life-changing." You're damn right it is. You're damn right it is, baby. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 50,000 subscribers, all right? That's the goal. We're almost at 41. It's going to be a monstrous offseason. We have a GM search, a coaching search, questions about the Hall of Fame quarterback being here or anywhere next year. And we know the Jets are going to do a bunch of things that are going to require us to go live at all hours of the day and discuss, and I want this fan base to be a part of it every step of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Joining us on the Gusbuster hotline is a guy that knows a thing or two about the type of coaches I would argue the New York Jets need to hire. He has his pulse on what the team needs to do. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Castro time.
We got to get rid of Yolbrick and then go after Gabriel first. Then I want Queensberry. Got to look at the monkey guy. I like Floney. And maybe Slow Dick in Houston is the answer.
Whoa, look at this guy on vacation. Holy niceness behind Peter Castro today.
Yeah. I had to get out of that cold weather quickly.
I'm jealous. I will be stuck in the cold weather for the foreseeable future.
I've had it. No more cold weather for me.
You deserve it, Peter. I'm happy to see you on vacation.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy that they interviewed Vrabel. But I want him to interview Flores, and they have to interview a few more because I'm a little leery of New England. To tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I think they are going to fire Mayo, and I think he is going to go over there. And I kind of every time we get involved with the Patriots or the New England, we always get screwed. And I just have a feeling he's using it for leverage. But I hope he's not, because I know he's a great pick, and I really hope he's not. But he also, if we do hire him, he has to have some clauses in his contract, I think. I don't want him here for a year or two and then running away.
Vrabel, he wouldn't. I mean, why would he run away?
Belichick did it.
Yeah, but Belichick never coached the Jets.
Mm. And where's Beefeater?
I believe you mean Beastbreaker 666.
Yeah, I call him Beefeater.
I see. I thought he was making some salient points the last couple of shows. You didn't?
No. He doesn't make any point. He makes no sense. All he does is scream and yell.
He actually just messaged the private chat. Peter Castro, the pink jackass.
And tell him, who's your daddy?
Well, I think he can hear you.
Yeah. And he looks like he's stuffed in a washing machine. He's doing clothes, and he got stuffed in there, and he can't get out. That's what it looks like when he's on TV. You can tell him that. Ask him who his daddy is. Tell him Pete Castro said he's your daddy. Fat little prick. Anyway, Jake, I kind of think that
he just responded. He wrote, quote, "I'm your daddy, bitch."
Yeah, okay. Put that fat prick. Put him on.
You want him on?
Yeah, put him on.
You're on vacation. I didn't want to get you into an.
I'm not on vacation. I live here.
All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Who's your daddy?
You're talking to the real daddy of the jungle, big boy.
This is Bruno Sammartino, brother. You don't know who that is, do you?
Yeah, Bruno Sammartino. He wrestled Larry Zbyszko back in 1980 and lost that match. Also, he was put out of commission by Larry Zbyszko, former AWA World Heavyweight Champion twice. He also married his daughter back in the late 80s after the AWA closed down.
Oh, really? You're a real wrestling freak, huh?
I know the game very well. I've been around the game long enough.
You know the Macho Man, Randy Savage?
Ooh, yeah. Hogan, don't make me come for you, brother. Let me remind you something. You are number 2, but remember, the Macho Man Randy Savage is number 1. Past, present, and future always will be the best. And don't think I will get you. I'll get you, yeah.
Well, pretty good. You're pretty good at something, other than you coming on here and yelling at Bobby every day for no reason. Bobby's a good guy.
Listen, you got to remember something. When you play, you pay. When you get on the ice with me, you'll go down. And then when I say down, 1, 2, 3, down.
Why do you look like you're stuffed in a washing machine? Where are you?
Do you see what this looks like?
No, what is it?
That's my baby. Thunder 2000. Owned this since 2006. She's a sharp blade, and she's a baby right here. And if you really want good answers, you really want the best, come on down and get with the Bullet Club. If you can't do it, get out of here. See, that's what happens.
You're minor leagues, baby. You're minor leagues.
Nope.
You got a long way to go. You're minor league. You can't even walk.
Giants, Rangers.
How fat are you? You can't even walk. Where are you? You're stuffed in a room again? Where do you live, in a cave? Where do you live, in a cave?
What's this tell you, Sonny? That's Donald Trump country talk. Now, hey, when you see this is Donald Trump country. Let's get that correctly, okay? Now, for Sunday's game, I want to see a winner. we're going to knock the fish right off their ass and put them out of commission. Then the first thing we do, we start thinking about getting these boys some new talent. The Jets need a new O-line, and we need a new D-line too, and new kickers. That's going to cost a lot of money, but we'll do it. We'll
You
do
remember
it.
the sack exchange? You remember the sack exchange? You remember the names?
Joe Clacko was one of them. Mark Gustafov was one of them, and then Kyle Clifton was another one of them as well.
No, he wasn't. Kyle Clifton was a linebacker.
Well, hey, 2 out of the 3 ain't that bad.
Marty Lyons and Abdul Salam. Learn. You say you know shit about football. You don't know
2
anything.
out of 3 ain't that bad, mate. Learn from Magnum TA. Magnum TA said the same thing.
Learn from your
2 out
daddy,
of 3
brother.
is not that bad, Sonny.
From now on, when you come on this show, you be very nice to Bob.
Hey. Okay. Hey,
you heard me. You heard me.
Hey, you're talking to Tony Soprano here. So, hey, just watch it.
You're talking to Al Capone.
Yeah, and I'm Tony Soprano. And all I got is a couple guys with me. Suvio, Paulie, and Christopher, and even Furio. So, hey, just watch your P's and Q's.
Yeah, I'll watch my P's and Q's. You're real scary. You can't even get out of your own washing machine. You look like you're stuffed in there.
The only washing machine you got, Buster, is when you're
What
behind.
do you do? Put your clothes in there and then put your hand in there and get stuck and then call Jake's show? That's what it looks like.
Sonny,
it looks like you're coming out of a washing machine. Where do you live?
Shut up. Shut up, number one. Now, I'm gonna put it out to you. You need to calm your ass down and at least have a little gabagool. Go get yourself a gabagool sandwich. Okay, now. Yeah, you know what I mean by gabagool.
Yeah, you know what you are? You know what you are? A big bullshit artist. You don't know anything about anybody or anything.
I got these nuts, and
you got 30 years of experience. You said 30 years of coaching experience. What did you coach?
I got the experience, Sonny boy. I got the proof in my pocket. So don't even go there with me.
What did you coach? Checkers? Did you coach a checker game? You don't know nothing about football.
Nuts. Hey,
you know about WWF wrestling. That's it. That's it.
Hey, buddy. These nuts. Right on down, these nuts. That's what you could be doing. That's what you'll be doing, Sonny. You'll be dropping on these nuts because you ain't got it.
Is that your line? Is that your line?
Can't hang. You can't hang, baby. You can't hang, baby.
Did you say my name, clown?
Hey, come on. The song is these nuts. The song is these nuts. These nuts.
Fucking dumb bastards I've ever seen on a YouTube show. You literally are the biggest fucking I've ever fucking seen. You're referencing fucking wrestling shit from 30 years ago. What a fucking clown, bro. You're a fucking
and I bet you're a Kamala Harris representative because you're a Kamala Harris representative. You look like an idiot. You're not even the same ballpark as
me, bro. You're a fucking joke. Don't fucking reference my name talking about these nuts. Fucking hold these fucking nuts, bitch. You coming at Bobby, you coming at Peter Castro. Who the fuck? You can't even
These nuts.
These nuts.
You don't even know what you're saying, bro. You're a fucking moron.
Joker, I got your hand. I'm going to call your name out and knock out in the game of poker. Hey,
you're a dumb
funny boy. Drop to the floor and go get your toy. I might be. Hey, I heard you be banging boys, but I heard you were playing with some.
My man, come on, banging boys. What are you
get down to the ghetto.
I usually chill in the back, but for a fucking clown like you, I come out and play. But you're a fucking moron. You're literally a moron.
Yeah. Here's the difference. You're the moron. I'm the common man. I'm Dusty Rhodes, and you're Vince Russo, son.
You can't make a fucking singular intellectual point because you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You're probably your mother.
Last I checked, you wore pink panties. You were wearing pink
panties. About you. You're coming at fucking Bobby. Yeah, Bobby started it, but yo, you are a fucking idiot.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Wow, that was something. Peter Castro, and then boom, tag team. Here comes Mike D's Nuts entering the building. Unbelievable. Let's check in right now with a member of the 4%. Before we do that, though, a super chat has come through the pipeline here. Thank you for help pay the bills, Craig M. Jake, I want to take my girlfriend to her first game tomorrow. Where to sit, what to expect. Thanks for the season and building this community. Craig, email me. I have 2 tickets for you and your girlfriend. I will put you in a good spot thanks to fellow Asmaniacs who are donating their tickets for people like your girlfriend to go to their first game and for people who want to be there. So email me, Craig, right now, and I'll transfer 2 to you when the show ends. What to expect? I mean, look, it's going to be cold, but, wear layers and, it's football. Have fun. I don't know what to expect. I mean, can the Jets win? They definitely can win. They're going to lose? Well, they've lost a lot this year, so. Craig, I'll hook you up with tickets, though. You let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Jay Graves. Jay Graves, hello.
Hey. Real quick, want to shout out my Texas State Bobcats. They won the First Responder Bowl last night. Let's go.
I saw that. I love the Quidditch shirt, too. A Quidditch
Texas
State
I actually
shirt.
played. Hell yeah, it was fun as shit.
They do?
Yeah, I did. I didn't play on my school team. Texas Quidditch back in the early 2010s. It's like football and dodgeball, and it's everybody can play, boys, girls, and everybody tackles everybody. It's legit. It was so fun.
I love that.
But I'm gonna address the BMAX situation once real quick. He is a little boy. He's a walking red flag. The fact that you say you fight a woman, I mean, I'm used to it. I intimidate intimidate little boys all the time. He's intimidated by a woman who is opinionated and strong and stands on 10 toes. Sorry, Nick. I know you got 9. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about his dumb ass. Anyway, the thing I gotta say about the Jets today is, have you seen what Deion Sanders said about the Louis Riddick interview?
Yeah, he wants the Jets to hire Riddick. He likes him.
But did you see what he said about, I hope you're not doing it and it's like a good faith interview? Why are you putting that out there, man? Really? He's like, I hope you're not doing what y'all tend to do sometimes, basically implying that we might be interviewing him just to satisfy a box. I'm like, leave us alone. Why you got to put that narrative out there?
Yeah, I mean, look, Riddick has interviewed for other jobs before. He hasn't got one. I think it has 0 to do with his race and everything to do with the fact
me too.
He hasn't been in an NFL front office in a decade. He's on TV, but there's a difference in doing that job and being in league circles, right? Mike Mayock went from the TV booth to the Raiders and didn't work. So I think that works against Riddick.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, but I hate that Deion had to go there. I'm like, really? Couldn't you just say, I hope you guys hire him, give him a shot? You had to put that Rooney Rule bullshit in there. We have enough crap going on. What? Stop.
Yeah.
But that was my complaint for the day. I hope the Jets win tomorrow just because I hate the Dolphins. And unless it gives a better draft stock and everything goes our way and we get a good draft stock, then I guess I can handle us losing. But I really don't want us the Dolphins to go to the playoffs. I mean, they'll get bounced and embarrassed in the first round, but it would just be annoying to have them in there.
Look, it'd be nice if the Jets do win tomorrow. Miami literally would have made it if they handle their business. But we'll know. We'll know going into the game whether or not Miami's in a spot where that game truly is going to matter for them.
Yeah. I wish I could go, but I've been sick all week. I've been fighting this. I've had a cough literally for a week. It's been awful. I'm not sitting out in no 30-degree weather tomorrow, but good luck everybody who's going out there. Stay warm and go Jets.
Jay Graves, all the love. Good call from Jay Graves representing the esteemed 4% female demographic. Comments, questions, super chats, we'll cut the line. We just heard from Jay Graves, who addressed BMAC's controversial and unacceptable comments yesterday. Let's check in with BMAC's brother, JJ. JJ, you're up next. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. That's has nothing to do with me. If my Wi-Fi starts to chop up, just let me know and I can adjust, okay? Sounds good?
Well, did you hear what BMAC said?
No, I don't pay attention to all that goes on with the twinings of the show. Too many people have beefs on the show.
Your brother said that he would fight Jay Graves.
Okay, that has nothing to do with me. I mean, he's his own man.
Brother.
I don't condone violence against women in any regard, unless it's in the WWE and it's like Triple H, giving somebody a pedigree, then that's okay. That was a joke, by the way. Don't cancel me. I think this show is definitely going to get canceled soon, though, with this guy. What's his name? B66 whatever. I don't even know what's going on with that. Side note, I don't understand why Mike D's nuts and Peter Castro and Bobby are arguing with the guy. The guy clearly has something mentally wrong with him. So I don't even know why you guys are allowing him to get under your skin. You guys, like, what are we doing here? But
I think he makes
Jake,
some salient points personally, but continue.
Yeah, true. I really don't understand why, and I know you're going to defend this team because that's what you do, but I don't understand why we are interviewing head coaches, right? But we have not hired a GM yet. The whole point is to hire your GM first and then hire a head coach. And the very disappointing thing is I feel like this is very disrespectful to Jeff Ulbrich and the entire coaching staff on that's with the Jets right now, because what message does that send to them that you guys can't even wait until the season's over to start?
JJ, let me stop you. Come on. Disrespectful. You know what's disrespectful? Them going out there and being 2-10 with their opportunity as the Ulbrich being 2-10 as the interim. Stop it. Every team does this. Washington did this last year. Washington did the same thing.
Let me ask you a question.
You're gonna talk to as many candidates as possible and get a head start on it. You can only talk to
Jeff
people that aren't
Ulbrich
with teams.
Jeff Ulbrich did not ask to be the head coach of this team, right? He has a job to do. He didn't do a good job, so I'm not saying that the Jets have.
He's the interim. They have every right to talk to other candidates, and they're going to give Ulbrich a courtesy interview to be the head coach. He has no chance of getting it, but they're still going to give him an interview.
Give him his courtesy interview, but we should start all this process once we hire a GM. The fact that they're running out there.
No.
So the GM doesn't get to pick his head coach?
If you want Mike Vrabel and he gives you an idea of a couple of GMs he wants you to speak to, that's why you talk to these guys now. You start the process.
Okay, but Mike Vrabel has done nothing in the terms of putting together a roster to make him warrant being able to give us ideas of who he wants to be his GM, right?
He wants a working relationship with his GM. He's not picking the roster. That's not what happened in Tennessee.
Understand.
And that's not what he's now said publicly in the story that came out yesterday with him on the record talking about the misperceptions of what happened and what he wants. He wants to be aligned with the GM he's working with, which seems reasonable.
Yeah, that seems reasonable, but you don't hire the head coach and then hire the GM. And you don't say to
I don't know if they're going to. They could hire the guy that Vrabel wants to work with first and then go from there. They have like an agreement.
But that makes no sense because that means that whoever we hire at GM now was not in the interview process in selecting Mike Vrabel, which is a problem. And the whole what is this 53rd team, 63rd team?
I think Vrabel is worth it. The Niners hired Kyle Shanahan first and then John Lynch. The Chargers hired Jim Harbaugh first and then hired Joe Ortiz. Like, to me, if you believe in the coach, you let him work with the GM he wants to work with. That's the only way you're probably going to be able to get Vrabel. So that's why I'm on board with what they're doing here. Every team did this. Washington did this last year too.
So wait, what you're saying? Washington hired Dan Quinn before they hired the GM? Is that what you're saying?
Washington spoke with coach and GM candidates before they then hired the GM and then the coach. What I'm telling you is simply you're just doing due process here because all these interviews are recorded. So then the GM candidates you're talking to, you can have them watch back some of these interviews with the prospective head coaches that you had. It's all part of the process. Get good at your interview process as well. Be prepared to be able to answer the question, hey, are you going to meddle, Woody? What's the truth from this athletic story? What's your answer? Are you prepared for that? Get a sense for what all these candidates are asking you. So when you actually talk to the Brian Floreses, the Aaron Glens, the Ben Johnsons of the world, you're prepared to be able to answer these questions. Like, that's what we're talking about here.
Okay, so if Woody Johnson, as an owner, is starting to get questioned by potential GM and head coaching candidates about him meddling and all that type of stuff, you're saying that he should be prepared for that? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm saying that the more people you speak to and you sense a common theme of the questions that the candidates are asking you, the better prepared you could be to have the right answer that they're looking to hear, to be prepared. Like, there's a strategy behind getting good at asking the right questions in an interview, understanding what you're looking for from the candidates. The more you talk to people, the more you could also learn about your organization.
Okay, so I don't think that it's our interview process that has to be changed. I think we just keep selecting the wrong person, and it has really nothing to do with the interview process. You should have never. First of all, let's go to Adam Gase, right? Adam Gase, we should have never hired him. He failed in Miami in our division. So that he should have never been hired. He should have never even been considered, right? He should have never even gotten an interview, right?
Yes.
So we're just picking the wrong people at the end of the day. These guys are going to have great interviews. They want to be a head coach in this league. Of course, they're going to have outstanding interviews and wow you and tell you and sell you a dream. That's what Joe Douglas did. That's what Robert Saleh did. Everybody who goes into those interviews are going to sell us a dream. It's up to us to choose the right person. So I don't think that asking the right questions or the interview process is going to make that big of a difference. What I think needs to happen, right, is we should hire our GM and have our GM decide on who the head coach is. Now, what you're going to keep telling me is that
not for Vrabel, for other guys, yes, if you want Mike Vrabel, who I believe is the #1 option for the Jets, then guess what? You might have to hire him first, and then you find him the GM. There's certain coaches I believe.
Vrabel is not. Vrabel was my #1, and I wanted Vrabel. I wanted Robert Saleh fired last year, and I wanted to get Vrabel. However, we're not just going to hand the keys to the franchise to Mike Vrabel. So, like, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Vrabel is not this candidate that, oh my God, we got to have him. He's the best candidate out there. He's not even necessarily the best candidate out there. I think he would be a really good fit with us, but I don't think he's the best candidate out there.
They can't hire their head coach until January 20th if they're with a team right now. I looked into it today. So if you want Brian Flores, for example, they wouldn't even be able to hire him until at the earliest January 20th. So with that said, the Jets have all this time. Why not start talking to candidates? Maybe Ron Rivera is not going to be your head coach.
Yeah, but spend all your time. Maybe we can agree to disagree on this, but I think they should spend all their time in figuring out who the next GM is going to be, and then go with the process of head coach.
All this time, talk to as many people as possible. They've spoken to 4 GM candidates so far. They've only spoken to 1 head coaching candidate to this point. Rex or 2, sorry, and then it will be 3 on Tuesday when Rex speaks to them. So it's 4 versus 3 right now. You could do both. Why are you so obtuse to the fact that there's a process playing out and you want to talk to as many people as possible with the time you have? That's the advantage the Jets have. The advantage they had when they fired Saleh and Douglas is that you could talk to Mike Vrabel before anybody else, and they got the first interview with him. And you said Vrabel's your top coach. So guess what? The opportunity to get him is by talking to him first and finding out, hey, which GM candidates you think you'd work well with. And then you're going to see on Monday, I bet you the Jets request Ryan Cowden, who's with the Giants organization right now, to be their GM. That's what you're going to see.
Okay. Last scenario that I want to give you, right? So I did say Vrabel is my top guy, but Vrabel's my top guy. Let's say we hire like a Ray Agnew or something like that. And Ray Agnew wasn't in the interview process with Mike Vrabel, and for whatever reason he decides, hey, you know what, I don't think we should go with Vrabel. I think we should go with such and such. Well, how can we really trust that Ray Agnew's opinion of Vrabel if he wasn't in the interview process? So now he might not want Vrabel, or maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but let's just say he doesn't, and he's gun-ho on somebody else, and he says, no, this is the guy, this is who we need to get, right? Well, is that really fair to Vrabel if the GM wasn't even in the interview process? So if we don't get him because the GM doesn't like him, that's kind of ass backwards to me. That's all I'm saying. I think that when you have a process, you do things in order.
I have an answer to that. I have an answer to what you're saying.
What, he's going to watch the interview?
No, JJ. Mike Vrabel's not taking your job if he's not comfortable with the GM hire. You're not going to get Vrabel, I don't believe, if you hired Ray Agnew first. Right? You're only going to hire a GM that Vrabel would be on board with if you identify him as your #1 option. I believe Vrabel's the only candidate they'd hire the head coach first. Everyone else, there's going to be a GM first that I do believe would be involved in the process for the next head coach. So Vrabel's only the exception to what you're talking about.
Can I remind you that Adam Gase wanted Joe Douglas and was okay with Joe Douglas being hired after they got rid of Mike McCagnon.
It's not the same thing, JJ. That was ass backwards, that whole thing, because they fired McCagnon in June that year and allowed McCagnon to do the draft and free agency. This is a clean start here.
No, we're talking specifically about the fact that Adam Gase wanted Joe Douglas hired as the GM. So the head coach then got the GM hired. That's basically what you're saying you want to happen if Vrabel gets hired as the head coach. If Vrabel gets hired as the head coach,
Adam Gase to Mike Vrabel, you are trying to compare that being remotely.
I'm comparing one. Well, technically it is, because Adam Gase was in Miami for 2 years. How many years was Adam Gase in Miami?
3 years.
Okay, 3 years, and he took them to the playoffs. So if you look at the percentages, he has the same playoff percentage in Miami at the time that Vrabel does. Yes,
No,
if
he
you look
doesn't.
at it, Vrabel.
No, he doesn't.
How many years was Vrabel in?
Six.
How many years was Vrabel?
6.
And he went to the playoff 3 times. So that's
He
33.
went to
How
the
many percent is
AFC
that?
Championship game. They were the 1 seed. They won a division title. He won 9 or more games in 4 of his 6 years. You can't compare Gase's Miami resume, where he had 2 losing seasons out of his 3 years, to Mike Vrabel's 4 winning seasons out of 6 years.
What I'm saying to you is, how many times did Mike Vrabel make the playoffs in Tennessee?
3 times. How many division
Okay, so
titles did he win? 2.
So
How
hold
many
on.
did Gase
So hold
win?
on.
0.
Hold on. So when the Jets hired Adam Gase, they were looking at him and they were saying to themselves, this is a playoff. This guy was able to take the Miami Dolphins with Ryan Tannehill to the playoffs. What did Mike Vrabel do? He took the Tennessee Titans with Ryan Tannehill to the playoffs. So you can compare them because they come from a similar background in terms of they took the same quarterback to the playoffs with teams.
That's the only
Okay, Jake.
similarity. Now do the rest of the
Jake.
resumes.
Jake,
This is
Adam
ridiculous.
Adam Gase still had say in the GM hire, which is an issue. And now you're telling me you want Vrabel to have say in the GM hire, which I also think is an issue. So now I may be wrong. I don't know shit.
Your
but
math sucks. Your math sucks. 3 playoff appearances in 6 years is 50%. 1 out of 3 is
Great.
33%.
Great.
And
They
also,
still took the
now
same
do
quarterback to the
playoff
playoffs.
wins. Now do AFC Championship game appearances. Come on, man. You completely lose me when you're trying to argue that the Jets allowing Vrabel to potentially pick the GM he wants to work with is the same as the Jets in June, by the way, after free agency, after the draft, is then allowing Adam Gase to pick Joe Douglas, who we wanted to work with. It's not even close to the similar situation here. You're starting both guys on the same timeline. With the Jets, you're not starting both guys on the same timeline. Gase was already involved in the decisions in that 2019 draft. He was already the coach. He already hired the coaching staff. They were drafting players in theory that year for the scheme they were going to run. With Vrabel, you're starting fresh with him and a new GM on the same exact timeline. They're aligned from the beginning. There was not alignment when you had Gase win a power struggle over McHagnon after free agency and after the draft. It's not even remotely similar. And for you to even try and compare the resume of Adam Gase in Miami to Mike Vrabel's resume with the Titans is asinine. What are we doing? You said Vrabel's your number 1 guy. So if he's your number 1 guy, how do you sell him on being the Jet coach? You get to work with a GM that you're comfortable with working with. That's how you sell him on that. You think he's going to pick the Jets over some of the other jobs if they're just like, yeah, there's a GM that's going to do it and you don't have control? You have to sell him on the fact that you get to work with your GM. He got fired in Tennessee because they got rid of, what's his name, John Robinson. He wanted Ryan Cowan to be the full-time GM. He was the interim after they fired John Robinson, and they instead hired Ron Carthon. And the two of them were not aligned. What are we talking about here? Adam Gase made the playoffs his first year and then had 2 losing seasons after that. Mike Vrabel went to the playoffs 3 out of his 6 years, had a winning record in 4 of his 6 years as a head coach. When did Adam Gase beat Brady and Belichick in a playoff game? Or Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh in a playoff game? All on the road, oh, by the way. Or be the number 1 seed in the AFC with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback? It's not even close to the same situation. And you yourself want Vrabel. So if you want Vrabel, here's how you potentially could do it. Vrabel is the only coach that you would hire first and then the GM. I think everyone else, it would be GM first and then the coach. If that's not the case, I will say I'm wrong and I don't like it. And it would be right in that sense. But it's the only scenario where the coach, I believe, would be hired first. And I don't even know if that's true. It's very possible if the Jets get that kind of handshake agreement from Vrabel after they speak with, let's say, Ryan Cowden next week, then maybe he would then be hired first, and then people would connect the dots and go, oh, they're going to hire Vrabel after that. God, it's just like, JJ, you're the best at getting me to yell. Unreal. All right, a couple calls left here. I'm going to give some memberships, though, because nobody has during the show. Let's get some more raffle entries for our raffle featuring the Super Bowl ring, featuring the mini helmet, and featuring the winner jet hat and much more. Here we go. 5 spot of memberships I'm dropping right now for the great people of Asmania. And if you get a membership from me, you're entered in the raffle. You'll have 1 entry if you hear your name called. Stand by. Let's find out who got them. Five spot channel memberships. It has happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm playing this video as my membership video of choice.
Would you cut your dick off for a Super Bowl?
Oh, been married 20 years. Yeah, probably.
You've got 3
as a player. I guess I'll be married for 20 years one day.
Jojo Townsell, Derek Gallo, Richard Wacker, Fernando Sanchez, Juan Wick, all receiving channel memberships, all receiving entries into the Asmaniac raffle. All right, more of your calls right now. We say hello to Tim from Fishland. Hello, Tim.
Long time, Jake. Took a little bit of a hiatus, Jets suck. Probably the worst season I've had to deal with in my life as far as expectations. But, I'm kind of disappointed. I haven't been keeping up with the show. There's some fireworks going on here between Bobby Midnight and what's his name? And B-Mac. I went B666, Mr. Looking like Captain Underpants.
The great beast breaker, 666. He's electrified the Asmaniac community. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but these snippets, man, you got to keep them up. It's actually hilarious. It's better than comedy sometimes. But as far as the Jets go, obviously, Vrabel's number 1. Okay, but I really think if we can't get Vrabel, I go after Flores because I think he's going to give this team a kick in the ass that they need. All right, this is the most undisciplined team I've ever watched in my life. Okay, ever watched in my life. All right, it's what was it? I think it was after the New England game in New England that I stopped yelling at the TV. I start laughing now because I was like, "This is just a Jet," you know what I mean? Like it's just. Hopefully we beat the Dolphins tomorrow. That'd be great, but count your chickens before they hatch. And all Jet fans, stop turning on each other. All right, stop turning on each other. We're all in this together.
Tim, all the love, my man. Brian Flores is very high on my list if they can't get Vrabel. I completely agree. Ladies and gentlemen, Mimosa has come through for the people.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
How about a 10 spot from the great Mimosa, an esteemed member of the 4 Percenters? She is gifted a 10 spot too. Dion, Austin, 0.5, Mike Roberts, Jay, James Fitzpatrick, Lucky Luke, Jainier Rivera, Source Gardner, Jack Needham. You all have received channel memberships. Congrats to all our new channel members. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Doug on the couch. Hello, Doug.
Jake, how are you?
What's up, Doug? Are you calling from Kyle Clifton's estate?
Yeah. You see my piano? I'm learning how to play.
Hold on one second. Killian writes in, Jake, you're delusional for thinking it's okay for the head coach to pick the GM. Okay, so tell me what the Niners did. Tell me what the Chargers did. Killian Ross. Oh my God, it worked out so bad for those organizations with Shanahan and Harbaugh. Suck it.
I really just don't get people. I really don't. Like if Vrabel's my top choice, if you have the opportunity to get him.
Real quick, NYJ Eternal goes, Vrabel isn't Shanahan. Oh, you're right. Shanahan was a first-time head coach, which made it even more crazy that they gave him all that power. But it worked. Guess what? Mike Vrabel, probably a top 10 coach in the NFL. Farewell.
And so I was saying this to someone who was at work last night. If you're a coach in the NFL, you're either going to get fired or retired. That's the way your coaching is going to end. So no matter how it is, like look at Belichick. No one thought he'd ever get fired. It happened. You either get fired or you're retired. Vrabel, also, I think you saw a lot this past year. Coaches on their second run are starting to do a lot better and better. Look, I know Todd Bowles is on the hot seat, but he did better in his second run than he did with his Jets. Look at Dan Quinn. Like I got to go back through all the hires, but the coaches on their second run right now are doing better. I don't want to go back and do let's go try the trendy coordinator, and if we do that, it's going to end up being Aaron Glenn, who was a former Jet. And I know people are like, oh yeah, we hired Aaron Glenn, a former Jet. That's not what we need. I want someone who knows what it's like to be a head coach in the NFL, has the experience, can learn and use those mistakes. I saw a report that the Jets might go after Cliff Kingsbury.
Yep, I'd interview him.
I'd interview him too. Like Vrabel's the one guy you go and say, you know what, we'll figure out the GM later. I'm okay with that. Like, I don't get what people aren't saying. And then and people who want Rex, they clearly don't remember the later years after 09 and 10. And they don't remember him as the Bills head coach. And it's the same reason why people wouldn't want Riddick. He's been out of the NFL for 10 years, almost 10 years now. As a head coach.
Rex kept the Jets out of the playoffs in 2015 with the Bills.
He did. But Rex has been out of the NFL, has been a head coach in almost 10 years.
Let me ask you something. When you look at Rex, you don't think of the times of greatness and the sexiness of it all?
I think of 09 and 010.
Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. You tried to throw him away, but this man's coming back. Sometimes he's fat or thin. That waistband makes him slim. He's got the fix you need. They call him sexy. Rexy.
Fuck Gruden, he's no Jet. I'm here to crack some skulls. I'll turn these boys to men. This team is stacked with pros. Hire me, you won't break your purse. I'm here to break the curse. They call me Sexy Rexy. Fuck all you naysayers.
Ooh, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy.
I mean, if you're giving me Fat Rex, I'd sign on right away.
See?
But we're not Fat Rex, so it's no deal.
I don't know. He might rip that lap band out.
If you give me Fat Rex AFC Championship games for Rex, I'm there because once he got the lap band surgery, that's when he started to suck.
I know.
I think not.
No, he needs to be fat. I think that's got to be one of the requirements, and hopefully he shows up. Telling them that in that interview on Tuesday if he wants the job. Like the type of Rex we need is this guy.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man.
That's the greatest Jets memory of my life. Oh, that 2010 divisional game. What a day. What a day. And haven't won a playoff game or been back to the playoffs since then. How fun. Why do we do this to ourselves, Jake?
I don't know, Doug. Now, let me ask you something. You're a longtime viewer of the show. Your thoughts on Beastbreaker 666? I think he makes some salient points. What's your take?
I've missed a lot of these shows with work, so could you catch me up on the drama real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't have it all, but I do have a short clip that kind of encapsulates where this madness started just a few days ago.
Yeah, put him back on.
People
Shut
need to
up
be
for
learning
5 minutes.
life.
Shut your big mouth
How
for 5
about
minutes.
you blow out your left nostril? How about you do this? Go turn your ass around and go walk the left line. How you like that, man?
Mouth for a fat, ugly prick.
Yeah, you
pick on Bobby? What are you picking on him for? Shut up.
You gotta learn his
You don't
lesson.
know shit. When I talk, you shut up.
I got a
If
bigger
you know
dick
what's good
than
for
you,
you.
little-
You don't come on here screaming and yelling at him, you overweight piece of shit, you big mouth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The only thing
Keep
you
talking,
can go stick is a
Keep
donut up
talking,
your
asshole.
ass.
You won't be here too long. Keep talking.
right.
What did Bobby do to you, asshole?
I put
I
bitches
know
like
you're
you
a
in
champion
check.
of all sports we never heard of. You got 30 years of coaching. You did this, you did that. You know you did? You did shit.
Because I've learned
That's
more
what
than
you
your
did.
fat ass
You
can
did
do,
shit.
best
You
day.
don't know nothing about the Jets.
I'm like the Tony
You know nothing
Soprano,
about
Paul
sports.
Wallace,
You know
and
what you are?
Susan Dr.
You're an
combined.
asshole. That's all you are.
This guy, I think his mother dropped him on his head when he was a kid. I tell you that much.
The way he talks, he shouldn't even be on the air.
This has been some show, man.
Two very proud men just simply talking things out.
What's up, clown?
Hey, monkey nuts. Let me shut your fakey, flaky ass up before you call me a clown. You're dealing with the wrong dog in the yard because the next thing you're going to get is the army tank, and I'm going to send one-way ticket coming your way. And just remember this. I might be big, but I'm going to be bad enough to put you out.
You're nothing but a big blowhard, and you're not going to do nothing. You come face to face with me, I'll shred you so fast that you'll go running back to your boyfriend, funnel butt.
Run back to your boyfriend, funnel butt, is the line of the day. Team Ricky. That was a great line.
I think he just needs to get laid.
Oh, hey now. I mean, how do we know he hasn't?
That's true, but it seems like he has a lot of pent up anger. Why is he just going out after everybody? People are not everybody needs to love everybody here.
Hey, congrats on the sex.
Yeah, everyone needs to love everybody. Like, it's been a rough season. It's been the worst season I've had in a long time. Everyone just needs to love everybody. The season's over tomorrow. After that, in the off season, when we're making these stupid things, and everyone can yell at each other again. But for one day, could just people be nice to each other for one last day before we head into the off season? Make these wrong coaching decisions that people will think are wrong. And it was a GM where I'm like, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did this. And then I don't want Louis Riddick, but the only like pro I'll give him is like John Lynch. He came right out from the booth and he did a good job. But then, as you mentioned, where Mike Mayock also came back from TV. So, like, which one is he more like? Is he like more like the Mayock situation or more like the John Lynch situation?
Doug, great call. Great call. Nice to see you at Kyle Clifton's establishment as he's coaching CYO. You're house sitting for him. Very nice of you. Bobby, I'm bringing you back on here. What did you think of Doug's message of us all trying to get along?
Well, I think you're crazy saying he has good takes.
I think he made some salient points.
No, I think you just need him to get more money so you could bounce his ass once in a while.
Who do you think I am?
You are a capitalist, aren't you?
Hello, money phone here. Beastbreaker 666.
Well, no, the reason why you say you'd be giving me a little at a time. That's what you told me before. That's all I asked.
I should let everyone know that Bobby was trying to blackmail me on the Discord last
Yeah,
night,
but
asking
I
about
did
his
not
weight loss
blackmail-
money. And have
Yeah,
I not been giving you a little bit at a time? For you to think I
No.
wouldn't be paying you, the amount of money I have paid you over the last calendar year, things I
Well,
have sent for you,
I
for you to
deserve
question
it
my
after all the
integrity,
shit
that I wouldn't pay you your $10 per
Okay,
pound
so
loss is asinine, Bobby. Asinine.
Well,
I'm a
I
man of my
didn't-
word. I have always paid you every dime I promised you,
I
and I
know,
will
but
continue to do so.
you
But
let this
questioning
guy-
my integrity that I wouldn't pay you for your weight loss journey is
I
outrageous.
believe you. You said a little at a time. You said.
Have I not paid you a little? I think I paid you like
Yes.
30 or 40 bucks already.
Yeah, you have. I just wanted to.
So now you're calling me out. You're trying to strong arm me into more money. I will
No,
not be
you
strong armed on my own show, Bobby. It is not
you-
happening. It never will happen. And for that, you're going to the hole, brother.
Now look what you've done, Bobby. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
Just outrageous. I mean, he's messaging me on Discord last night nonstop, asking for his money. It's out of control. All right. Outrageous. Ladies and gentlemen, I see a comment that has just come through that obviously needs to be addressed immediately. The comment reads, "Free Bobby." And it reads from a guy by the name of Hawk. And look, here's what needs to now happen, Hawk. You want Bobby freed? How about you join him, you bum?
Now look what you've done, Hawk. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
Gio writes in, "Free my husband, Bobby." You're gone too, Gio.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
Lane Train writes in. Hold on. Where'd it go? It was a great point from the Lane Train. I wanted to address it. Lane writes in, Beastbreaker 666 doesn't know what he's talking about. You know, Lane, you make a good point. It's a mystery. New Q writes in, Warden Jake being obtuse. Oh, yeah? Stupid Town, you go now.
He stinks.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. You're fired. Suck it, truthers.
I'll do this all day, but not actually, because I do have a life, and I've been live for 2 hours here. All right, we got a couple more calls left, and we'll wrap up another wild show. This season cannot end fast enough. Super chat here from Jets Worldwide. For the ring, got to be in it to win it. You got to get the membership, Snowball. That's how you get in it, but I appreciate it. I'll put you down for one, Snowball, because I like you. I'll break the rules. But membership gifts or $20 super chats, that's how we do it. All right. We get us back on track here. More of your calls right now before we wrap. The Hamburger's next. What's up, Hamburger?
What's up, Jake? How you doing, man? What a show.
Living the dream, man. What a day. What a time to be alive.
You have me rolling, man. Listen, I don't a ball breaker or beast breaker, whatever his name is. Like, I don't have a problem with him. The only thing I have is a problem with is his authenticity, man. Just, be a little more real and I'll buy it a little more. That's what I love about a lot of the callers here. But you got to talk at least once in a while, not just yell. But the arguments are great. And Peter Castro, I will have drinks with you any day, my man. I love that.
I want to hang out with Peter Castro.
Yeah, without a doubt. I want to have like dinner with him, have a few drinks, a stogie, hang out, watch a game. Peter Castro is my kind of guy, without a doubt.
Amen.
So, without a doubt. Let's see what happens tomorrow, man. We'll find out before the game starts what the importance of the game is. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If we're in the number 2 spot, if we lose, I'll be rooting for the loss. But other than that, I think I still want the win. I still want Aaron to go out and watch him tomorrow. I'm thankful for you and the season ticket holder that donated the tickets. I'll be able to see Aaron maybe for the last time ever. So, but again, let's see what happens tomorrow and let's get rid of this season. Let's end it tomorrow, man. I can't wait. I think Joe Vrabel is the guy, man. I think he's gonna. If the Pats win tomorrow and they announce that they're keeping Mayo, I think he's the guy. I really do.
It's going to be tough to think that he wouldn't take the Pats show over the Jets because of his connection there. But I mean, look, the Jets could give him something more than what the Pats can, and also it's been brought up. But there's a lot of money it would take to hire Vrabel. Yeah. New England's known to be cheap, and they're paying Mayo another 4 years on his deal plus his staff. It's like an $80 million lever they got to press if they want to move on from their coach after 1 year. Does Kraft want to pay all that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm praying that he doesn't. I'm praying that because I think he's the guy that I think he wants us. If the Patriots aren't there, I think he wants us the most. That's how I feel. I really see him as him being our coach next year. That's what I want the most. I really do. I see it. I close my eyes and I can see him as our coach, man. And I'm excited for it. I can't wait to hear him talk to the media and it's going to be fun if he is our coach. And yeah, if Rex Ryan would become the defensive coordinator, sign me up for that combo. That would be electric to watch. I will tune in every moment I can. Any press conference, anything they give, I will tune in for that. That would be exciting. What a show that would be.
Yeah, look, we'll see. I don't think Rex is actually going to get the job, but look, you got the interview, and we know Rex could be convincing in a room with those guys, so we'll see.
Yeah, and we'll know after Tuesday, after he interviews, maybe one of the bright reporters will ask him, "Are you open to taking a defensive coordinator job?" Maybe he'll put that out there, like, "Hey, man, I'm kind of open to coaching in general." So that might give us an insight of whether or not he's willing to take a DC after his interview on Tuesday. Hopefully, somebody asks that question.
Good call, Hamburger. Enjoy the game with your dad tomorrow, all right?
Thanks, Jake, man. I'll talk to you. Bye.
The great Hamburger checking in. Super chat from Tim. Today's show is the Jerry Springer of Jets fans today. It's been a wild show, man. That's what we do around here. 4-12 team, and we're still rocking and rolling. 10,000 people watched the video I did the other day. Had a 11,000 video the other day. I mean, this fan base is incredible. There's still 450 people in here right now watching live. It's unreal. Snowball's in on the raffle. 5 entries for the ball of snow, plus the other one is 6.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Hell yeah. All right, a couple more calls. Let's say hello to Thabo, who's next. What's up, Thabo?
Hey, what's going on, Jake? Oh yeah, by the way, my name's Tabo. I forgot to say that last time, but I don't know if we've discussed it or not. But and I know it's a little early, but we're Jets fans, so we got to talk about it. So in your opinion in the draft, no matter where we are, what do you feel like position wise, we should be, prioritizing?
I think best player available should probably be the priority, right? I mean, it feels like it's not a blue chip draft class. Like after you get past the first 6 or 7, they say it's the talent definitely wanes. There's not a huge drop off in the talent level from, let's say, the 8th best prospect versus through the 25th best prospect. I saw some say. So I think you go BPA. But the priorities should be defense, wide receiver, edge rusher, defensive tackle, safety. I don't think they take a safety that high, but best case scenario, BPA lines up with a position in need.
Okay, I got you. And then also I wanted to ask, I want to give a shout out to the beef. This show has been it's been one of your best shows, bro. Real talk. But I wanted to ask though, if we don't get I've been going through a lot, so I've been tuning into a lot of your shows. But if we don't get Vrabel, who would you like? Who would be your second choice if we don't get Vrabel? I'm just saying, worst, you know what I mean?
Brian Flores, I would excited a lot. I think there's a chance the Browns could fire Kevin Stefanski. So I'm watching that closely. If they completely no-show again today and quit on him, is he definitely keeping his job? I don't know. So he'd be right up there if he's available. I want to interview guys with previous experience. So I look at Cliff Kingsbury as an intriguing option. If you're going to hire the first-time route, I prefer it to be an offensive guy. So Ben Johnson for sure, Liam Cohen. I really want either Vrabel or Flores. To me, they're in their own tier. And then you get to the Rex and some of the other guys out there that's being discussed too.
Okay, for sure. Well, hey, man, thank you for the entertainment as always. And as always, go Jets.
Hey, go Buckeyes to you as well, man.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate it, man. Great call. Call back anytime. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, some would argue we might have saved the best for last. This guy always brings it with a take about things that very often have nothing to do with the Jets, but everything to do with the country of Puerto Rico.
It's time for V-Man to talk about Puerto Rico and his Puerto Rican roots.
Hey, Jay, that's funny you mentioned. I was actually going to donate, I was going to do a super chat, but I actually gave my money. I actually already gave money away for today, so I wasn't going to do a super memberships.
You already gave money away?
Yeah. Some crazy drunk tourist in Cabo Rojo burnt down a bar after the police escorted her out, and so I donated to their GoFundMe.
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do, V-Man. I'm going to gift the membership, but it's on your behalf, all right? So if you got this membership, it's not from me, but it's actually from V-Man, okay?
Yeah, but no, I want to go with what JJ said, and I agree with you. It's ridiculous.
Membership has been gifted. It is from V-Man, and since I get to pick the video, we play this.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to this republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so like I was saying...
Hold on, V-Man. For every membership that is gifted during the V-Man call, it is not actually from the person who gifted it. It goes on behalf of V-Man, and thus... Bob Sacramento is the recipient of the membership from not me, but V-Man. All right, continue, V-Man.
Like I was saying, with JJ's take, you're saying Vrabel's your top pick, but at the same time, you're also saying that we must adhere to your specific interpretation of how the hiring process must go. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Look, if he is your number one pick, you do everything.
Sound the alarms. John has gifted a channel membership on behalf of V-Man, baby. Brandon Harper received a membership. Continue, V-Man.
Okay, so like I said, if Vrabel is your number one pick, you do whatever you can do that is legally allowed by the NFL to get him as your head coach. That's all that matters. I don't want to hear that, oh, this is the politically correct way of hiring the manager, the GM before the head coach. No, nobody cares. Like, look, nobody's gonna bat an eye. It's ridiculous. It's nonsense. You hire, like, if you know that Vrabel, if you know that you got to hire Vrabel so that you can ensure that you can get him is that he can pick the GM.
Hold on 1 second,
you want
V-Man.
him.
D-Rob writes in, Jake, please stop cutting V-Man off. He has some very important points to make. Thanks. Continue, V-Man.
So like I said, so if you got to hire Vrabel first before hiring the GM, just to get him so that you can ensure that you get so that he can pick the GM that he wants, that's fine. I don't care because Vrabel. I agree with you. Is the number one coaching candidate in this cycle.
Hold on 1 second. NYJ says you cut him off. Yeah, continue, V-Man.
Like I said, you do what's necessary to get your top guy. Like, I don't care how you do it. Is it as long as you're doing it within these legal manners? Because we do not need any draft picks docked. We don't need any of that. We don't
1
need
second.
any fines.
Addison says, Jake, please don't read this and let V-Man speak. Continue, V-Man.
All right, but so I'm just gonna wait till another one pops up.
I do agree with you. Vrabel's the only exception, I think, where you basically allow him a hand in picking the GM he wants to work with. Everyone else, I think they're going to do the GM first, and then the process will play itself out after that in regards to the coach.
Yeah, but like I said, I think like if you are gonna put like the hiring process over getting your that specific
Hey,
hiring
real quick,
process.
B-Sport writes in, Jake, tell V-Man he's the GOAT for donating to that bar.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, it was a really sad story. Like I found the clip on like
Big fella writes in, Jake, let V-Man get a word out.
Yeah, no, like he said, yeah, no. What happened was she's already gotten suspended from her job. But yeah, no. So like I was saying, yeah, if he's your favorite coaching candidate, but at the same time you're gonna say that you want to put the hiring process over getting him, like of doing the GM before the coach, then you're just being ridiculous. It's like then you're saying I'm perfectly okay with losing my favorite coaching candidate because some other team is willing to do what's necessary to get him.
I agree. I mean, the Jets have to sell themselves to Vrabel. I mean, he's going to have options. So how do you sell yourself to the best coach that's out there? Hey, we have a GM opening too. Who do you want to work with? To me, it's logical. I don't understand the backlash from that.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. And then him trying to compare Gase to Vrabel. Like I can't sanction the stupidity there. Like I cannot sanction it. Like you comparing a guy.
Jets Worldwide writes in, V-Man has valid points. Continue, V-Man.
All right, like I said, this guy Gase had one winning season.
Gator writes in, what does V-Man think about Puerto Rico and his Puerto Rican roots?
All right, no, well, like I said, so like there's like he had one winning season. Vrabel, he won his first year. He won his second. Like he made the playoffs 3 times. He had 4 winning seasons. The only problem was as the roster got older and less talented, it became harder to win. That's not on him.
I mean, he
That's
overachieved with rosters that probably shouldn't have been to the playoffs. So when they didn't make the playoffs, it's like used against him. But it's like, well, look what changed. Tannehill got hurt one year. The roster wasn't as good. They took Isaiah Wilson in the first round. Caleb Farley had injury problems. They still drafted him.
And then you look at right now.
The guy's a good coach.
And you look at right now. If you were probably to go on the Titans Reddit page right now, you'd probably see a lot of posts saying, I guarantee you will probably find a post saying we made a mistake firing Mike Vrabel. I guarantee you right now. If you were to go,
a ton of Titans fans despised the decision at the time, and they would take Vrabel back in the second. Look how they've been since he's been gone.
I know, absolutely. Like you look, Bill Callahan's like it's been a disaster, and like, I mean, yeah, sure. Like, what are you gonna look? Sometimes the best testament of how good a coach is, how good someone is when they're no longer there. I mean, you look at what happened with the look at what happened with the Patriots when Dante Scarnecchia left. Like that O-line immediately fell apart. That went from the strength of the team to a massive weakness. And you look at it with Mike Vrabel, that team was fighting. I mean, even though they lost games, they were always they fought in every game. Like they fought, they battled. They didn't come out on top, but they gave a good effort. You look at it right now. Are they giving good efforts? Most of the time.
Hey, real quick, we have some drama in the chat. Rob V is in a fight with John Gotti and Hamburger, and he says, "Stand on what you say. Keep that same energy when you see me." To which John Gotti wrote, "You will, and you will do nothing."
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, have they been that same fight? Have they had that same fight in them since he left?
Tim writes in, "Jake, we need Lowski versus B666. That'd be something."
No, but am I saying it? Am I right? Have the Titans don't have that same fight they had under Vrabel?
No, they're soft.
Exactly. So it's like you can see that. I remember, I had this.
John Gotti writes in, "Rob V, I'll have Mikey Meatballs smack the salami out your mouth."
But that's why I say Vrabel, you got to get him. And I agree with you. I probably wouldn't be surprised if they're gonna go.
Ask V-Man what he said. I missed it all. That's from Sean.
Brief summary. I'll give you a brief summary. So I donated to help rebuild a torched bar. I think JJ's take on hiring the GM before the coach is ridiculous. If you want, when it comes to Mike Vrabel, I think comparing Mike Vrabel to Gase is ridiculous. And I'm also talking about how the Titans absolutely regret Mike Vrabel being fired.
25 writes in, "Can V-Man talk to the Beast? That'd be absolute cinema. Have you been following the Beast Breaker saga? He's electrified the chat."
Yeah, I got no interest in. Personally, I've got no interest in getting involved with that. So, that's his opinions are his own. I don't want to get involved with it. That's my personal preference right now.
It seems like to me there's some mutual respect between you two. Is that fair?
He has his right to his own opinions, and like I said, I'm not the antagonist type unless it comes to Allen.
I agree. Hey, Beast Breaker, you must have respect for V-Man, right?
I don't know who he is. How are you doing there, big fella?
I'm fine,
Well, this hamburger guy and these other jokers, all they're doing is blowing smoke up their own asses because they don't know what they're talking about. It's called I got my own way. They need to go their own way. And I don't care. It's called I do what I want when I want. And I also learned there's another person from New York that I also respect. You might remember. Do you remember ECW?
No.
Oh, you're missing out, man. Taz was the guy from ECW. Jake, you don't remember ECW, do you?
A little before my time.
Let me just address it for everybody.
Okay.
ECW was a great wrestling company in the 90s. That was a power hitter. See, that's what people fail to realize because in this generation we live in today is nothing more than, a downgrade. See,
Great.
I know.
Good takes, Beast. Appreciate it. V-Man, this was an excellent call.
Yeah, thanks. I was going to say, but when it comes to wrestling, I'm not much of a wrestling guy. There's one wrestler I have massive respects for. Is Jesse the Body Ventura.
Is he Puerto Rican?
No, I respect him for his takes. I also respect the fact he's the only third party person to ever win an election in my entire life when he won the governor's race of Minnesota.
I see. V-Man, you have a great day, all right?
Peace.
That's the end of that V-Man call. Now he can go back to sleeping.
Man, a lot has happened during the show. The drama doesn't seem to stop. We have people fighting in the chat again. John Gotti says, Rob V, you'll never be a made man. Pipe down. Strong takes from all ends of the spectrum today. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what we need right now. We need two people to absolutely go at it with it all on the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Hey, what's going? Hey, you again? You haven't learned yet yesterday. Listen, your mama Luke, I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't have no beef with you, but the shit you speak is nonsense. You speak nonsense, okay?
You know what I'm about to pull off for your kid?
All right, listen. I'm gonna let you talk today because I'm not too mad at you. That don't matter. You can have a bat all you want. I'm a trained fighter. I'll break the bat and I'll crack it over your head. That's not the point. The point is here, you claim yourself as a Jet fan. Tell me what you know. Give me facts. Tell me what you want them to do for the following year, then I'll listen. That bad stuff don't matter. Go ahead, speak.
Brush yourself off to the side. Sidebar. First thing first, defense, offensive line. Pink slips are going to be going out. Greg Zuerlein, pink slip, see ya.
Oh,
Carlson, see ya.
Okay.
Bye-bye to him. We need guys. We need new men.
All right.
I want to address it loud, clear for everybody. Offense. The offensive line needs men from 270 pounds.
Actually, we got a healthy offensive line. We do got a healthy offensive line. Well, what actually I think we need a couple of fat guys to stop the run. We need a defensive line because Joe Douglas did last year. He killed off defensive line. That's number one. We need a competent safety. We need a decent safety. Okay, we definitely need a decent safety. Okay, and I would like a young quarterback to come in to be bridged. Now, if Vrabel becomes our coach, that's fine. I'm satisfied. But what I believe is that what I heard through my family friends that belong in the organization, that Rex is already considered to be hired. I told that to everybody a month ago. I wouldn't mind having Rex. I understand he hasn't been in the league for a while, but he's a Jet fan. He loves the Jets, and he got something to prove. That's my take.
Rex Ryan, I respect him. But number one, he learned a lot from his father. But we do need a lot of things. We need a new kicker. A kicker with balls of steel. I'll give you a couple hits. We need someone like a John Hall or Sean Landetta or Mike or Kevin Butler or even.
Excuse me.
I was pretty bored by that. I was too tame. Billy, I thought was going to bring the attack. Also, Sean Landetta, by the way, Beast, he was a punter. They have a good punter in Morstead. They need a kicker. Man, what a show. What a show. We can't end the show on that. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to thank the audience for your support, because without all of you, this show wouldn't be the show. All right, anyone could talk about the Jets. Right? Anyone could do that. But not every show has the Asmaniacs. In fact, none of them do. And that's what separates this channel from every other channel on YouTube. You guys are awesome. Hit the like button. Final post-game show is tomorrow. We'll be live right after Jets Dolphins. I'm on ESPN Radio on ESPN New York, I think at like 6:30 whenever the Rangers post-game show ends. So I'm going to do like a 90-minute show as the Jet game is wrapping up. And then I'll be live on YouTube immediately after. What I'm going to do right now, for those who missed where the Beast Breaker rivalry all started, I give you the highlights of the madness that was Beast Breaker versus everybody. Have a good Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Like the video. Please subscribe to the channel and go Jets. There's some drama going on that you guys aren't aware of. Right now in the private chat, Bobby Midnight is in a war against a fellow Asmaniac, Beastbreaker 666.
I want to rumble now.
What's wrong? What did Beastbreaker do?
I don't like him. I don't like him. His takes are horrible. Get his fat ass on him.
What did he specifically do, though? I'm not following why there's beef. Did he call into your show?
I don't like him. His take.
It looks at one point in all caps you wrote to him, "I don't fear you, big a-hole boy. You a big 400-pound shit stain." Mr. Beastbreaker 666, what's up with you and Bobby? What's happening here?
This guy's a total jamoke. I've seen better idiots with brain goo on a Play-Doh set. This guy's no clue who he's talking to. I got news for him. He don't want to go here with me. I will put him under like the rest of the shit that I put out last year. See, he's like the trash that comes and goes. He's like garbage. Once it goes, bye-bye. As a global star, I've done my job. I'm a 22-year musician. I'm a former wrestling announcer. I've also done baseball and football. I've coached my way through the top. Unlike what this little bastard couldn't do, he couldn't lace my boots, touch my jock, or even carry my bags. See, there's things about this bastard that he doesn't know shit about. He needs to do one of two things. A, shut your mouth, and B, get on your knees and pay homage to a king.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Hey, Joe, how you doing, big clown ass?
I can hear your big monkey ass from a mile away. Do you know who you're talking to? Hey, give me a little history lesson there in your gabagool. Let me run it down for you. You are a weakling. You have no heart, no balls, and a little bit of small little genitals to carry up the back. Let me remind you something, Sonny. You are nothing more than a delusional, stuck in the basement idiot, has no clue who you are. You know who you're dealing with?
Oh, you're a
savage beast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a savage.
I got more international quality than you'll ever have. I got more fanfare in Japan. I got more fanfare from England and France and Germany. Unlike what you could do, you little bastard. Shut up and go eat some gabagool, you big monkey. You couldn't carry shit through straw if life depended on it. So if you had any balls enough, why don't you get your fat ass on a treadmill and go the distance with me? But I don't think you can, because I'll tell you right here, right now, you are all talk, no action. Go back down to the gutter where you've been and go do what you do best. Hide and be a moron.
You fat.
Let me remind you something. I got 3 triple crowns. I got 5 back-to-back trophies. I have 2 Grand Slam titles and 4 single back-to-back titles. So who do you think you're talking to? Who the hell do you think you're talking to, son?
I'm 47, 56.
I don't give a monkey's ball bag who you are, you little monkey stack. You think you know everything, little man fella?
You're a big
fella, before you even existed on this planet, I was wiping my ass way bigger than you'll ever have in your day.
I was born 1968. When were you born, you fat piece of shit?
I carry 3 battle jackets. I've done more shows than you have ever done. And until you get your act together, you don't know what it's like. See, I've been around the WWF, the ECW, the WCW, everything.
You went to Japan.
I got more heart.
Big deal.
You ain't shit.
You ain't shit either. You just a big bag of shit.
All you have is big fat large alls. I got more muscle than you. I am 6'1", 272. I can knock your teeth out like Masachoto and the Great Muda and the Great Sasuke and even Takamichi Noku. And you know what? Let me remind you something, you little turd.
I really don't care. You just rumble just to hear yourself talk, you big ass.
Give me a You're all hot air, no action. All you're doing is sitting there blowing smoke up my booty.
You calling every day, you monkey ass.
I got more fish to fry. You know what? I got a book that I'm working on, so why don't you shut the hell up and go back to doing these best? Or I'm going to pull the 187 on you because you don't know what I'm like, kid. You haven't been to war like me.
What kind of book are you writing? From dummies?
A legendary legacy book that I've done for over close to 30 years. I've retired more jackasses than you could never ever do on your best.
I'm not a topology kid. I already told you that, you monkey ass bitch. You make me sick. I like South ass more than you. Earing ass. Just I can't hear you. I think they put you on mute.
You know what? I'm laughing at you right now because you know what? I'm like Roddy Piper, and you are just like the garbage that you're like Vince Russo. You couldn't last. You shit the bed and you kick it out with your feet.
Did they throw you into a mental hospital?
I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to, but let me remind you, I've been through Boston, I've been through New York City, I've been to Jersey, Philadelphia, and Allentown.
Where do you live now?
Why do you care? You don't give a shit. See, you don't know how extreme I am because I'm way extreme, and you are just a little piss ass who's crapping in his diapers because you can't get over the fact that I got more heart than you.
Yeah.
And until you get your balls reevaluated and your head neutralized, you need a reevaluation. And until then, Come back to me in 10 years until you learn.
You're probably.
I'm like Shane Brothers. I'm like Ricky Steamboat, and you are John Cena on crack.
Oh, I think you're on crack, boy.
Kid, I've done more weed than you could not do your
kid,
best.
you moron. I'm 56. Get your ass straight.
you look like Yokozuna on crack. I got bigger brains than you. I got smarter powers than you will ever. I'm like a savage beast, and I'm also a sorcerer. I can knock you out with one blow. One blow.
Come on, let's go. Where you live? Come on, I go visit you.
Nah, I don't have the time right now because right now I got other things to do. I got corporation business to take care of, and I'm also building a worldwide empire. See, that's something you dumbass hasn't learned. Until then, come back to me in 10 years, and let's see who the bigger dog is.
Staying at the Mental Institution, right? You go at the.
Wow, reality? I know more than you'll ever know, kid. All you are is all talk, no action. So you know what you can do? Go bend over at 7-Eleven for a free Slurpee and get out of my sight. I am Mr. Original, Mr. Hardcore, and you are a joke. You ain't nothing but a slimy, degrading human waste of excrement.
Do you have your own YouTube channel?
I'm already planning on a podcast right now, and I'm working on a book, and I'm also planning on getting my shit fixed.
You can even write
Unlike
words.
you, kid, you don't know your ass from an elbow.
Do you have a wife?
Kid, I'm gonna shut you up right here. I'm gonna shut you up right here. My private life, you don't need to know shit.
Your mother dropped you on the head when you were a kid.
You know, your mother did you.
All right, that's enough. Good God, man, did that escalate quickly? Jeez.
Yeah, put him back on.
People need to be learning.
5 minutes.
Life.
Shut your big mouth for 5
How about
minutes.
you blow out your left nostril? How about you do this? Go turn your ass around and go walk the left line. How you like that, man?
Mouth for a fat, ugly prick.
Yeah,
you pick on Bobby? What are you picking on him for? Shut up.
You gotta learn his
You don't know shit. When I talk, you shut up.
I got a bigger
you know
dick
what's good
than
for
you,
you.
little.
You don't come on here screaming and yelling at him, you overweight piece of shit, you big mouth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The only thing
Keep
you
talking,
can
asshole.
go stick is a
Keep
donut up
talking,
your
asshole.
ass.
You won't be here too long. Keep talking.
Right.
What did Bobby do to you, asshole?
I put
I know
like
you're
you
a champion of all sports we never heard of. You got 30 years of coaching. You did this, you did that. You know what you did? You did shit.
Because I've learned
That's
more
what
than
you
your
did.
fat ass
You
can
did
do
shit.
best
You
day.
don't know nothing about the Jets.
I'm like the Tony
you know nothing
Soprano,
about
Paulie
sports.
Walnuts,
You know what you are?
and Dr.
You're an
Combine.
asshole. That's all you are.
This guy, I think his mother dropped him on his head when he was a kid. I tell you that much.
The way he talks, he shouldn't even be on the air.
This has been some show, man.
Two very proud men just simply talking things out.
What's up, clown?
Hey, monkey nuts. Let me shut your fakey, flaky ass up before you call me a clown. You're dealing with the wrong dog in the yard because the next thing you're going to get is the army tank, and I'm going to send one-way ticket coming your way. And just remember this. I might be big, but I'm going to be bad enough to put you out.
You're nothing but a big blowhard, and you're not going to do nothing. You come face to face with me, I'll shred you so fast that you'll go running back to your boyfriend, funnel butt.
Run back to your boyfriend, funnel butt, is the line of the day. Team Ricky. That was a great line.